Y'all the best. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Whew, look at the hype in chat tonight. I love it. What's going on, everybody? Hype train already? Get out of here. Let's see, who do we got in here? Cookie Codes. Thank you for the 1 gifted sub. I appreciate that. It's Noda. Thank you for the 2 months of Prime. Din. Hey, thank you for the 2 months as well. Medium with the 100 bits. Thank you so much. And we hit a hype train. I didn't even go live yet and we got a hype train. What is going on? Crumb Hustler. Hey. It's the best week ever. It's the best. It's the last day of the best week ever. Crumb Hustler, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Hadoken, 4 months in a row. What's going on? Orasi with the 100 bits. Thank you so much. Medium with the gifted sub as well. Thank you so much. Hey everybody. How we doing? Alyssa, stop. Imran. Where Bill Gates at though? Hey, they might be in chat. You don't know. You don't know. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, you're the perfect week. It doesn't get better. Whew. Medium, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. And Jimmy with the hydration already. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm gonna get that going. Let's go. I'm almost through my water today. I'm about halfway through my water. Thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Woo. Hey Reggie, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Whew. Come on, folks. We got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. We got a level 4 hype train. Like, even got started before we even got live. This is the last day of the best week ever. I'm so excited you're here. It's a sponsored stream, folks. Shout out to Microsoft. Shout out to Microsoft Azure for sponsoring this class. We got a lot of fun stuff tonight. Got a lot of fun stuff. This ain't for me. This is for y'all. We did this. We out here. Let's go. Hi, Microsoft. What up? What up? How you doing, Microsoft? Thank you. Appreciate it. One job, please. Let's go. Azure in the house. I appreciate y'all. Come on, Chop. Hey, Chop. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. What? Midwest. Get out of here. It didn't even come up yet. What? Midwest with the 1500 bits. Let's go. Cheese, please. Wife says hi. Tell them I said, what's up? How you doing? Alrighty, folks. The hype is real. The hype is real tonight. We got 8 Microsoft sponsored swag packs that we're gonna be giving out throughout this entire stream. We got 8 Learn with Leon swag packs that are going out as well for anyone in the world. What? Level 5 completed. We've been live. We haven't been live for 5 minutes, and we got a level 5 hype train. What? What? Hold on. Wolfgang, come on now. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you for being here. Jacantu, hey, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Bobby Lynn is in here. Thank you for the gifted sub. All right, everybody. I appreciate the support. We got a lot of stuff to get into tonight. A lot of fun stuff. We got a few things we got to get out the way first, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. We're going to have chat off tonight on this side, just as a request. So chat will be off tonight on the side. We have some rules that we're going to agree to in a few seconds, but whew, loving having everyone here. I hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a good, well, we were together Thursday, then we were together Friday, then we were together Saturday. And I don't know what, I still missed y'all. Glad you're here with us on Tuesday. We need more. Yo, thank you so much. Manny, thank you for the 250 bits. Hero, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Welcome, everybody. The raffles haven't even started yet. We're not live yet with the raffles. The way the raffles are gonna work tonight the way the raffles are going to work tonight. Oh, geez. Pen, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. That's wild. Cole, love you too. Hope you're doing well. Did we get did somebody redeem the Simba cam? Is that what happened? No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that come through. Simba actually just finished the treat already. Hold on, let's take a look at Simba. Oh, Alyssa with the redemption. Thank you. Let's see what they're up to. Oh yeah. Going to town. There's a greenie in there. Corn Lord with the 2 months. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Simba's doing good. I don't know how long he'll be here tonight, so I'm glad we got one in there. He misses Mama after a little while, and so glad we got a Simba cam in early. Thank you for the redemption. Got Bob in the mix too, sitting in that corner. Welcome everybody. Just giving everybody a few seconds to get in here. Got a lot of fun stuff tonight. I was getting ready to talk about the raffles. I was getting ready to talk about the raffles. Let me chill the music just a little bit here. Just a little bit here. There we go. All right. So the way the raffles are going to work tonight, because I see folks spamming it in chat, is that after each topic, we're going to do a raffle. Okay. So I wanted this to be the funnest, the least stressful introduction to Git and GitHub ever. I feel like my students always really stress when it comes to Git and GitHub. A lot of folks throw folks right into Git and GitHub, and working with the command line for the first time, working with all these weird sounding technologies is really rough. So for every rough thing that we do, we're going to do a raffle, right? So for every rough thing, we're going to do a raffle, and there will be 8 main things that we're going to cover. And so there'll be 8 chances for the raffle. Each time we're going to do a raffle, Microsoft sponsored raffle for folks that are in the US, and then we'll do another raffle for folks anywhere in the world. So you can have on at every stream. Sorry, already taken, but I appreciate it. So after every single hard concept, you're gonna push. You're gonna make your brain work a little bit. We're gonna really understand what Git and GitHub is actually doing for us. And then when you push yourself, we do a raffle, right? You push, you learn a little bit more. You ask good questions. We do another raffle. So that's what we're gonna be doing tonight. Boom, Kingston. Thank you for the gifted sub. And folks, that was a level 5 hype train. It's the best week ever. I'm glad you're all here. Let's get into the slides. It looks like we got most of our folks in the mix, so let's get over to the slides. If you are new here, the way it works is that you can do ! slides here in chat. That'll give you access to the slides that we're going to use this evening. Those slides have a live tag. As I move through the slides, you move through the slides. If you don't like that, you want to be able to jump around, go to one slide, go back to the next, just remove that live. Just remove that live and you'll be in a good spot. Alrighty, folks. I'm going to chill the music. Always like to have the OG welcome music. But welcome. So that's the slides. If you're new around these parts, welcome. This is 100 Devs. We are a 30-week entirely free software engineering bootcamp. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to code, come join us. We got an amazing community here on Twitch and on Discord. Thousands of folks on our Discord channel, folks that are wanting to help you learn how to code. So this is the place to be. Tonight, we're covering a topic as part of our classes, their 21st class in the series, where we're talking about Git and GitHub. And it doesn't get any better because we have Microsoft Azure sponsoring our class. As you know, Microsoft recently acquired GitHub, and so can't have a better sponsor than the folks that own them. So a lot of fun stuff to get into. Let's talk about what we're going to cover tonight, and then we're going to keep it rolling. Alrighty. So we're going to do a little bit of a setup. should we leave our GitHub open for tonight's class? You can if you want. If you just have like a tab open, like if you have the slides open, you have GitHub on the other slide. We're going to get to GitHub like towards the tail end of class. So we're going to spend some time talking about learning how to learn, just as some spaced repetition. I know all of y'all normally know it, but since this class might be shared outside of our community, if folks leave with nothing else other than knowing how to learn, that's what I want you to walk away with tonight. So we're going to review that stuff first. Then we're going to jump into like what this terminal thing is. We're going to talk about Git and GitHub. I'm going to have you using Git to manage some really basic stuff this evening. And then you should be able to walk away with knowing how you can use Git to help you right now to back up your code, to take some risk in your code without worry of breaking stuff, and then how to have a full backup of your code on GitHub. We're going to talk about some other really cool GitHub features, mainly how developers can talk with each other, interact with each other using GitHub. And then we're also going to see how to host all of our static projects on GitHub for free. So by the end of tonight, you should feel a little bit more comfortable with Git if you've never used it before. You should understand what GitHub does and how it ties into Git. And then you should also be able to host all of your projects on GitHub for free. I think someone went to town on the treat a little too fast, but he's doing all right. So that was him sneezing. That's hilarious. All right. So what if I broke Git? Don't worry, we'll get there. We also have office hours. So tonight is our intro to Git. Git can be a really tough topic for a lot of folks. If you get stuck, if something doesn't make sense tonight, you need extra help, you can't get Git to install or something weird happens, we got you. Our office hours are Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time here on Twitch on Saturday. So if for whatever reason something breaks, it doesn't work, it doesn't do what you want it to do, come back to office hours. We're going to spend a lot of time working through the installation step, walking through the basic commands again. So tonight you're going to see an overview. We're going to get to just the meat and potatoes. No fluff, no extra. We're not going off the deep end. This is meant to be a really great introduction for folks that have probably never touched the terminal before. Trying to convince my 15-year-old to join us. Hey, tell them to get over here. Let's go. They could be winning some of these swag packs tonight. All right. We always like to start off class with some questions. Are there any questions that are coming through tonight? And then we'll get through our questions and we're going to jump right into the class. Don't worry, I'm going to make lots of Git jokes this evening. Are we using Linux? You can use whatever operating system you have right now. I'm going to show you the commands for getting stuff installed on Windows, Mac, and GNU Linux. So whatever operating system you're running, if it's one of the big three, you're in a good spot. Okay? So don't worry about that. I'm going to give you the commands for each of them. Now, for some things, you might already have it installed. If you're on Mac or GNU Linux, you're going to have things like your terminal already ready to rock and roll, exactly how we're going to use it. But for Windows, we're going to have to do a little bit more of an installation step. If you were in Discord, I've already asked you to download the stuff that you're going to need. So you should have already had a chance to kind of get it going live. Will, how you doing? I'm doing good. It's the best week ever, folks. All right, it's the best week ever. This is the last day of the best week ever. I can't thank you enough for the amazing week that we've had. So many wins. And to top it off with a Microsoft sponsored stream. Let's go. Alrighty. So what we're going to be using tonight is some fun stuff. But let's talk a little bit about who this is for. This class is specifically geared to folks that have never touched a terminal before. And the whole time I've been talking about Git, you kept thinking I was saying G-E-T, not G-I-T. So we're starting very, very, very much from the very beginning. We're going to smooth over some of the more complicated details. Part of your homework will be to go through a full course on Git and GitHub that Microsoft offers for free. And so in that course, you're going to get deeper into the technical terms, what things are really called. Tonight we're going to use a lot of examples, a lot of things that aren't the hard 100% correct exact way to talk about things, because I want you to walk away tonight really understanding like what Git can do for your workflow and what the major benefits that using something like GitHub can provide for you right out the gate. So this is for anyone that's new, anyone that might need a quick refresher on the core ideas behind Git and GitHub. And we're going to kind of stay away from a lot of the nitty gritty. So we have some kind of basic stuff that we're going to work through, and that's what we're shooting for. So if you're here for a fully 100% comprehensive, I'm going to know everything by the end of this class, this isn't it. This is to get you comfortable. This is to get you feeling good. This is getting you to the point where you can start using Git today in a real way to really help you as you continue on with the rest of your engineering journey. And if you're following along with the 100 Devs class, for the rest of your 100 Devs class. All of our homework and things that'll be starting to be submitted through 100 Devs will eventually move all to Git and GitHub. So that's what we're going for. Okay. Now, Git is one of those topics. For folks that are new, maybe if you're not watching this here on Twitch live, my name is Leon. I am the Managing Director of Engineering for a nonprofit called Resilient Coders. My day-to-day job is to help folks learn how to code. I'm also distinguished faculty at General Assembly, helping folks learn the code at night. I've seen thousands of students come across my door, and I've helped hundreds of folks get jobs as software engineers. Now, this topic, Git and GitHub, is where people kind of freak out a little bit, right? I know what it is about this topic, but boy, do people really kind of get lost in the sauce when it comes to this. Using the command line for the first time, understanding what Git's really doing for the first time, connecting it to this thing called GitHub. That's a lot of terminology, a lot of struggles, and for some folks it might be a little bit of a shock to a system. So tonight I want you to ask lots of questions. We're going to try and not get lost in the sauce here, and we're going to try and make it make sense. So that's the goal, right? Tonight after class, your homework will be assigned. The homework is to move through a free course that Microsoft offers on Git and GitHub, and that'll be your chance to really dive deep into the nitty gritty. So tonight, understanding. Homework due next week, nitty gritty. All right. All right, there's some community rules that we're going to agree to. They're not very different from the normal 100 Devs rules. Be excellent to one another. GitHub and Microsoft asked me to share their code of conduct, which is a great code of conduct to adhere to. It's very similar to 100 Devs rules. You can do GitHub COC in chat if you're interested in that. But it's the same rules that we normally abide by, right? Be excellent to one another, and let's have a good class. Now, if you're new and you're interested in exploring software engineering as a career, that's what we're doing here at 100 Devs. And there's a lot of perks to pursuing this career in software engineering right now. It's well paid. If you look up the happiest careers over the past 5 years running, software engineering is always on that list. You can get into it without a degree. You can learn it for 100% free. And bonus, there might be a slide in your office if you join a cool startup, right? Now, we're running a free 30-week bootcamp. So if you're interested in learning all the skills that you're going to need to be employable as a software engineer, come on back. leonnoel.com/100devs has everything you need to know about our bootcamp. It's a great place to come and learn, and we got people that want to support you in your coding journey. If you're new and you're trying to figure out if this thing is for you, let's talk about that a little bit. All my students are very aware of something called the trough of sorrow. Learning to code is not easy. It is a long, hard journey. A lot of folks give up. A lot of folks don't make it through. But if you can make it through the trough of sorrow, it's a wonderful career. It's well paid. It's a happy career. it's flexible, and it can do a lot to change your life. I don't have a degree, yet I am able to command a great salary. I'm able to have an amazing job because of the skills that I learned on my own, right? And so I want that for all of y'all. I dropped out of Yale my senior year to start a company, and I kept pushing my learning, my abilities, and now I can build beautiful applications. I can freelance, and I know that I can always provide and put money on the table, right? And that's what I want for all of you. So come, hang out with us, and we'll help you get through the trough of sorrow. A lot of folks ask me, is coding for everyone? And the answer is honestly, no. You got to enjoy it. You got to like the problem solving. You got to like kind of enjoying the suck that is to learn it. You got to be interested in a career where every day there's something new to learn, right? You got to be interested in the idea that everything that you've learned a year ago might not be what you're using today. So it's a rough career to get started with or get into, but it's a great career for the long term. There's just this chasm, the trough of sorrow that you got to get through first. Now, I have had folks from all walks of life, from individuals that were incarcerated for 5 years and had to touch the computer that whole time, to individuals that maybe had some coding experience when they were actually in middle school and high school, right? I've seen folks be able to pick up these skills, to learn these things, including really frustrating topics like Git. But learning to code is really about kind of three main things. It's about managing your frustration, right? There are some interesting studies about kind of like when adults lose their ability to learn, and it's way longer than you think. But the one thing that happens as you get older is that your ability to deal with frustration diminishes. And that's what makes learning to code something that can be really hard. A lot of folks that attempt to learn how to code don't find a consistent rhythm. They're chunking their time, and we're going to see why that's not a great idea. So maybe they're just spending all day Saturday learning instead of getting just maybe a half an hour in each day. And they don't take care of themselves. You go too hard too quickly, you burn out, and you don't ever make it through the trough of sorrow. So if this is new, if this is a journey that you're about to jump into, make sure you find ways to manage your frustration. On our Discord channel, ! Discord here in chat, we have a wonderful channel called Struggle Bus. You're not alone. The struggles are real when you're learning how to code. And if you're having a hard time managing the frustration, it's a great place to vent. The consistency, we're going to learn a little bit more about that. And then the taking care of yourself is a lot of stuff. It's the hydration. It is the taking care of your hands and fingers and your wrists as you start to use keyboard combinations that you haven't used before. It's giving your eyes a break. It's using things like the Pomodoro technique to get up and take a break as you're learning. Reptar Cat, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Will, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Whew. Gotta get in, folks. If you're watching this video not on Twitch, there gonna be some weird stuff. Folks in the channel can redeem points. Like the more they hang out in the channel, the more points they get, and so we can do lots of fun stuff for the points. So you might see some wild stuff tonight. We get some hydration in. Resery, thank you for the hydration. Well, I don't know if I said that. Thank you for the hydration. I am. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for being here. Got a posture check right now. Hold on. I got to get my posture right. Whew. There we go. So you're going to see some fun stuff. We also have a Simba cam that can get redeemed every once in a while. So you might see my dog pop up on stream for a little bit. So that's what we're talking about. If you see me doing some odd stuff, it's folks redeeming those channel points. Cool. Let's keep pushing. But first and foremost, just don't let your dreams be dreams, right? Find a community that can help you, that can support you on your coding journey. If this is something that you really want, definitely join us at 100 Devs. We would love to support you throughout your journey into tech. All right. If you're new, hey, Jersey Boss Bag, thank you for the gifted sub. Woohoo! Alrighty. if you leave with nothing else, like, yes, we're going to get to Git and GitHub, but if you're new in your coding journey, these are the two most important concepts I need you to walk away with right now. Git's going to be this wonderful cherry on top tonight, but these are the things I need you to learn. If you're investing in yourself and you're investing in learning and you're learning how to code, these two things are going to save you so much time and effort and actually help you finally learn this stuff for real. A lot of my students, it's not their first try. It's on their third or fourth try that they might learn these skills that enables them to stick and actually learn this thing for real this time. So, active recall. This video changed my life. So there's a video here by Ali Abdal. This video changed my life. It's changed the lives of a lot of my students. And what they talk about is a study technique called active recall. Basically, it's the idea. There's a lot of folks saying they changed their life in chat too. I see you. Thank you. What the idea here is that you can read something and then or consume something and then actively recall the things that you just learned. So if you say read a chapter of a book, at the end of reading that chapter of the book, take a moment to stop and actually recall all the things that you just learned. What did you learn? What are the topics? What are the things that were hard, were easy? And ask yourself a bunch of questions about the things that you just learned. There was a study where they gave individuals, I think it was, I believe, one chapter of a book to read, and then a week later they had a quiz on it. The individuals that read the chapter once and then did the active recalling did better than the individuals that read it 4 times. That's what this chart's pointing out. The chart here is pointing out that this active recall technique is better than repeating the material 4 times. Could you imagine doing a fourth of the work but getting better results? That's why this idea of active recall is so important. So tonight, you're going to be learning a lot of new topics. At the end of tonight, active recall. When we take a break, active recall. When we're doing a raffle, active recall. I often talk to 2 things, my rubber ducky and Bob. This is Bob there on the screen. You can see him in the corner. Simba just doesn't want to be on the bed. Simba's like right in front of the bed. That's funny. He's gonna go get that treat. But that's Bob. So for me, when I'm done reading something, talk to my rubber duck, which is somewhere on my desk, and I talk to Bob. Right? I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to Bob and my duck. And that idea of actively recalling actually makes the concept stick. Don't just watch tonight's class and then go about your day. Take a few minutes. What did I learn? What are the commands I learned? What are the concepts I learned? How could I apply them? Can I do them again? That active recall is going to make these topics stick for you. All right. There's one other technique. And this technique is called spaced repetition. Now, this graph here was a study of one. This person memorized 3-digit letters and then kind of kept an eye on how long it took them to forget those 3-digit combinations or those 3-letter combinations. And they did it kind of a couple of times, and over again, they started noticing that really, after just only 20 minutes, there was a good chance that they had forgotten just those 3 letters. And by the end of like 30 days, there was almost an 80% chance that they had forgotten it. Right? And so this is the forgetting curve, which is very real. And for each person, it's completely different. For some folks, this might be very shallow. For some folks, it might be very steep. But the idea here is that you're going to forget the content that you learn. So if you're putting in effort tonight to learn these concepts, make sure you're using spaced repetition so that you don't forget everything that you put the effort into learning. all spaced repetition is reviewing material multiple times so that each time you review it, your forgetting curve flattens. And if you review material enough, it's going to be a really, really, really long time before you forget it. So there is some really good research. There's a really good kind of article on that idea of kind of flattening your forgetting curve that's linked there. And once again, Ali Abdaal just has an amazing video on spaced repetition that really kind of drives home this concept and how you can apply it to the things that you're learning. Here at 100 Devs, we use Anki. Anki is a 100% free tool. Every single thing that I ever mention will be free. Our entire program is free. I promise never to lock any of my content behind a paywall or subscription or anything weird like that. This is a 100% free 100% free place to learn the things that you want to learn about getting into tech. And Anki is one of the best free tools that you can ever use for your learning. What it's going to enable you to do is to make flashcards, but the flashcards have an algorithm behind them. And so the algorithm knows when it's time to surface that material so that it flattens that forgetting curve on that material. So Anki is completely free on pretty much any desktop OS, on mobile, and if you use like the browser. iOS, you do have to pay for the app, but just use the web version and that's completely free. Cool. So if that's all you get from tonight, is active recall and spaced repetition, please, if you're trying to learn how to code, if you're trying to make these concepts stick, please, 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 please use these two concepts. They will serve you very well, and it will make it so that this time you're trying to learn how to code, this time you're trying to learn how to use Git, it's going to actually stick. Simba's going to town. Alrighty. The last thing I want to say before getting into this is you're not alone. The first time I tried learning Git, I failed. Probably the second or third time I did too, I was confused. It didn't make sense. I've had thousands of students get frustrated with learning Git. I've had thousands of students think that they were never going to learn the concepts they need to learn in terms of software engineering. You're not alone. There's a community that you can join where you won't be alone. You can work through code together. You can learn the things you need to learn. So if you're interested in joining our free 30-week software engineering bootcamp, you can go to leonnoel.com/100devs. That'll have everything you need to know about joining our bootcamp, how to join our Discord, and get the help you need on your learning to code journey. Cool. Did I miss a drink? Oh boy. Miriam, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Thank you. This will be my third go at fully grasping Git. Hey, let's make this one stick. Alrighty. Before we get started, thank you, Microsoft. Thank you, Microsoft Azure, for sponsoring this stream. We have a lot of wonderful things to raffle off. The raffle's not open yet. We got to learn a hard concept first, and then we get the raffle, right? But once again, really appreciate you sponsoring the stream, for supporting new developers early in their journey. And for real talk, private repos on GitHub being free, change the game. Thank you. All right, let's get it on. We got a lot of fun stuff to get into. Hey, Microsoft, you need an intern? Alyssa's asking. Alyssa's the best mod the best mod in the whole wide world. They would be a fabulous intern or software engineer. You know, if you have an open spot, we'll put the Alyssa link your resume or your portfolio, just in case Bill Gates is in the chat. All right, folks, let's get it on. First, the terminal. Okay, now. When this is the face I think most folks, if you've never heard of the terminal, you never really understood what it was. This is the face people make. When you're first kind of really like reading about the terminal, there's all these like really weird commands that get thrown around. Terminal bash. I asked you to download git bash, Unix shell, CLI, CMD. It's just a lot of really really confusing terms. And to be honest, some of them still don't make sense to me. But we're going to throw all this in the trash. We're gonna leave the mail room here. If you're a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philly, this is actually, I was reading a theory about this, and the Pepe Sylvia that they kept seeing over and over again. Folks think that it was Pennsylvania, and Charlie just didn't understand what Pennsylvania was or how to spell it, and so he kept seeing Pepe Sylvia, but really they were in a mailroom in Philly in Pennsylvania, and so that's my headcanon as to what Pepe Sylvia really was. It makes sense. It does. It does. Alrighty. This also makes me think about this very famous. This video has been. It's so blurry. I couldn't find, like, I can't even make out the person's name. I wish I could make out the names so that I could shout them out here. But this was part of a talk that someone gave, and they said they put this on their LinkedIn profile, and they asked recruiters to figure out which one of these are Pokemon and which one are like actual technical names. And I just love that Git is in there and is part of this. So don't be worried if when you first tried learning Git and all these terms just made you really confused. We're going to clear up some of the big ones. We're going to try and use really plain language. If it doesn't make sense, please ask questions. We're here for a very basic introduction. If things don't make sense, please ask. And if you're really struggling and things aren't really clicking, come to our office hours. Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, same here on Twitch. So let's go ahead and start learning about the terminal. The only thing you need to really think about in terms of a terminal right now is just a place where you can type some commands and those commands like cause actions to happen. So it's like a place where you type something and then things happen. That's all it is. It's a place where you type some stuff and some stuff happens. Now we're going to use the word commands. You might even hear people throw around the word utilities, but it's just things that we're typing and then stuff happens on our computer. That's all it is. Okay. Now, this was really something really interesting. So Apple II is one of the trinity of like early like home computing, like the first really big run of like consumer computing. And this Apple II was really expensive. I looked up on Wikipedia and then I plugged it into like a current time, like in terms of like what money would be worth right now. And so if you bought the Apple II at the like very bare minimum spec, I think it was like four kilobits or something. I don't even know what it is, like really small amount of RAM. It was about $5,000. And if you bought the max spec, it was 11 plus grand, right? For the Apple II. And you paid all this money, you took it home, and this is what you had. Let's reset it. Hold on, let me power cycle it real quick here. This is an Apple II emulator. You paid all that money, you brought it home, and this is what you had. Let's let that sink in for a second. This was next gen too. This was like had color and other wild stuff, right? But you paid all that money, you brought it home, you had this, right? There was no what we call a GUI, a graphical user interface. Now, when we navigate around our computers, we have like icons that we can click on, things that we can drag around, right? Easier ways to navigate our computer. But before we had the GUI, we had the CLI, or the command line interface. We would just type in our commands and the computer would do stuff, right? This one is actually really cool. Like this emulator, there's a link to the emulator here. You can play with it. The funny thing is I opened up the emulator and I was trying a bunch of commands to like get stuff to work and I couldn't figure it out. I had to pull up an old school like manual on how the Apple II worked. And it still took me a little while to figure out what was going on. But it's cool. And like this one, you can like load in different files and stuff. Like you can load in like there's like a Christmas card or something like that. Personal. Here's the Xmas card you can load in. Hold on, let me do a refresh here. There you go. So I think this will load in a second. There you go. That's lit. But that's what you paid all that money for. But the idea was that thanks, I hate it. The idea here was that there was no GUI. There was no icons. There was nothing that we were clicking and dragging. There was just a little blinking light after which we could type commands, and that's how we controlled the computer. And the cool thing is those commands still exist. We still have a terminal that we can use to do a bunch of really great stuff on our computer, right? We can use it to open files, to run small programs, to do a bunch of stuff. And you can navigate your entire folder system all from this terminal, right? All from that single command line interface. We can do all of that. And so we're going to look at some common commands that you can use in a terminal. Then you're going to try it. And then when we come back from you trying it, we're going to do a raffle. All right. So let's look at some common commands that we can use in the terminal. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this over to reveal my terminal. Okay. Now, I want you just to follow along with me. Don't worry about kind of typing this along right now. I want you to see it. I want you to absorb it. Who created an account to do that? If you saw the leprechaun, say, yeah, thank you for the hydration. And Bill Gates, thank you for the sub. Not complaining, but it was a tier 1. Now, if it is really Bill Gates, that was a joke. That was a joke. But I'm just saying. Y'all are wild. Hold on. Can I actually click and see if they have like a profile or anything? Alyssa, see if you can see how new that account is. That's hilarious. Bill Gates, thank you for the sub. Sion111, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. Oh, that's 7 minutes ago. All right, cool. I didn't actually. I actually didn't make fun of the real Bill Gates. I'm good. Thank you for joining the stream. Microsoft, I'm not sure you have to cut that out or not, but we're gonna go with it. That's hilarious. All right. So what I was saying is, don't worry about the actual typing out, like following along. Like, watch this, ask questions if you have questions, and then I'm going to ask you to do it. Okay. So I am actually going to let Simba leave before we jump into this. So let's say goodbye to Simba. Hey, Simba. I'm going to let Simba out. That way he's not chewing on the device the whole night. So let me go ahead and let Simba out, and we'll be right back. Right back. All right. So all of the love for Simba. I appreciate y'all. So we will, the Simba cam I will deactivate at our first break, but don't redeem it because you're just going to look at Bob. Hey, it's a Bob cam now. So if you want to look at Bob, hold on. If you want to look at Bob, there you go. Let me get Bob front and center here. Sorry, Microsoft. I believe we gave Bob a last name during one of the Angry Parent Simulators when Bob got his last name. I believe it is Boberson. Is Bob single? I believe Bob is single. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah, I guess Bob is. All right. we need Bob Cam just like down here. So if you redeem your Simba Cam channel points, you will get Bob Cam this evening because Simba has left the building. Well, left the room. No matchmaking in chat. Alrighty. So, like I said, let's follow along, and then I'm going to ask you, if you don't already have a terminal, I'm going to walk you through how to get and use the terminal. But for now, let's walk through these together. So, here is one of the first commands that you're going to use, pwd. So I have opened up a program on my computer called the terminal. On Macs and GNU Linux, it is a program that is already installed. You just go to your applications and you open up the program called terminal. If you're on Windows, you have something slightly different called a command prompt. But I asked everyone yesterday to install something on Windows called Git Bash. What Git Bash is going to do is all the commands that I'm using on Mac and GNU Linux will also work on Windows. Okay? Now, that's for tonight. If you're on Windows, I'm going to ask you to install something called WSL. It is a Linux subsystem for Windows. It's amazing, but that's a little too much. It's a little too intense for just tonight and Thursday. On office hours on Saturday, I'm going to walk through that entire installation. But for tonight, we're just going to use Git Bash. You just download a program, you run it, and you're off to the start here. You can just do all of the standard settings, and you'll be fine for this evening. Cool. All right, so here I've opened up the terminal, which is just a program on my computer. And this is where I'm going to have that command line interface. This is the same interface that we would have like if we just had that Apple II back in the day. But the first command I'm going to show you is pwd. All you do is you type it in and you hit enter. And that's it. And what it's going to do is going to show you the full working directory. Funny, hey, thank you for the gifted sub to Microsoft Azure. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Enjoy the sub. You get channel emotes now. Hey, Azure, if you're actually in the chat, can you use the micro Leon? I'm curious if you're here. You can use the sub emotes. That's hilarious. So, what you're seeing here is the terminal is a great way to move through my entire computer. Just like I have folders down here, like this is my class 21 folder here, right? This is my class 21 folder. You can see the same thing up here, but you're seeing the full path to get to that folder. Right now you can see that I'm in my users folder. This is my username. I'm on my desktop. On my desktop, I have a folder called Stream. Inside that folder, I have a folder called 100 Devs, and then I have a Class 21 folder. I can do the same thing. I can start from my desktop. I can go to my Stream folder. I go to my 100 Devs folder, and then I can go to my Class 21 folder. So we're used to using what we have down here on the bottom, right? We're used to having what we have down here on the bottom. This is our GUI. This is the graphical user interface. This is how most of you have probably used your computers your entire lives, right? So this terminal, this command line interface might be a little odd, but it's basically doing all the same things that you do with the GUI, just text-based, right? So this pwd command is a great command because it shows you currently where you're at. You can see that I'm in the class 21 folder. All right, next command, make dir, or make directory. You're gonna see the word directory used a lot. For this purpose, just think of a directory as a folder. It's just a folder, right? Let's just use the word folder for tonight, all right? So don't get confused when people say like, oh, make a directory, go up a directory. No, just you're making a folder, and then you're going to move into that folder, right? And so let's type out this command, mkdir, and then you're going to put the name of your folder, okay? I'm just going to name this folder example. Great. And so what you just saw, as soon as I hit enter, right? As soon as I hit enter, you could see down here in my GUI that the example folder was created. I just average, you don't have to follow along right now. See the commands, see how they work, and then there's going to be a point where I'm going to ask you to do it, and then we're going to come back to a Raffle. Cool. So that's all it's doing, is we are using these commands, and those commands are really kind of doing stuff on our computer. So this make directory, what it did is actually create that directory, and we can see it. Cool. Let's look at the next command. Change directory. All this enables you to do is just to go into a folder, right? So if I go up here and I do cd, and then I can do the name of my folder. So I'm going to do example. And the cool thing is, a lot of times you can hit tab and it will like autocomplete for you. So this cd example, once I hit enter, it's going to take me into the example folder. And so you can see now here, I'm no longer in the class 21 folder. I am now in this example folder. Okay. I am now inside that example folder. So Lawnball asks, what is the difference between Git Bash and the native Windows app run? So Git Bash is going to give you a lot of these what are called Unixy type commands that are going to be similar to the Mac commands I'm using and the Linux commands you might be using if you're on GNU Linux. So it just makes it a little bit consistent for everyone to learn together tonight, and just makes it a little bit easier. Cool. All right, so we have an example. We can see that we're in the example folder now here inside the terminal. And let's look at our next command. What if we didn't want to stay in the example folder? What if we wanted to go back up to the class 21 folder, right? What if I wanted to go up a level? Well, I can do cd ... And watch what happens. I am back up into the class 21 folder now. So if I was actually looking at this, what happened is I went into example, if I'm using the GUI, and then I went back up to the class 21 folder. That's all we're doing. Now, for those that have been here for a while, those that are doing the bootcamp with 100 devs, we've seen this ... before. Chat, anybody know where we've seen that ... before? We've seen this before. Ooh, blah. Yeah, we've seen it with images. Yep. Where else have we seen it? Yeah, our link tags, our paths to our CSS files or our JavaScript files, right? Sometimes we have our CSS in a folder that we have to go up a level, or maybe you're already inside of your CSS file and you want to go out of the CSS folder and into an images folder. You would have saw something like ... /images, right? Where you were saying, all right, I'm going to go up out of the CSS folder and into the images folder, right? So we've seen this ... before if you've been kind of doing some web development. And basically that's what it's saying. It's just saying, hey, if you're in this folder, go up a level. And that command comes from what we're doing here in the terminal, right? Alrighty. Cool. So that's how we can go up a folder, and we can have a little fun with it, right? Like I can do multiple. Right now I'm back in my root 100 devs folder. Chat, if I want to go back into the class 21 folder, how can I do that? If I want to go back into the class 21 folder, how can I do that? Throw that in chat for me, please. How can I go from the 100 devs folder to the class 21 folder? Whew. Look at us go. Look at us go. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Cool. We can do cd and then the name of the folder, class 21. Great. Now you can see that I'm back into the class 21 folder. So if you ever want to go in a folder, it's cd and then the name of the folder. If you want to go up a folder, like out of the folder, cd ... Okay. There are a few other commands here that are important. We have this cd tilde, and the cd tilde does something really unique. Let me show you. So cd tilde, and I hit enter. It's going to go all the way back to my user folder, right? It's going to go all the way back to my user folder. Now, if I want to get back, right? If I want to get back to my class 21 folder, I can do the path. I can do cd, and I could do like desktop one at a time if I wanted to. Like I could just do one at a time, or I can do cd, and then I could do 100 devs. Oh, sorry, I got to go into my stream folder, cd stream 100 devs class 21, right? And that command took me all the way back into the class 21 folder, right? So if I was to do that here on my GUI at the bottom here, I would go from my desktop to my stream to my 100 devs to my class 21, and then I'm in the class 21 folder, and you can see that example folder that we've seen before. 21. Oh, I didn't even plan that. That's fire. There we go. 21. If you haven't been following along with the 100 devs class, there gonna be a lot of in jokes here. We've done a lot of apps that have used 21 Savage. So 21 doesn't get better. It's the best week ever, folks. Fox with the hydration. Thank you. Cheers to you. Get a sip in here. Anyone else's Mac get hot? Yeah. I got mine on like a nice, it's like on a stand that has fans in it to keep it cool. There we go. All right, so that was a nice command. Let's look at another one here. Touch. So far we've been able to like move in and out of folders. We've been able to create a folder. What if we want to create a file? So let's go ahead. Let's go into the example folder and then make a file. So I'm going to cd into example. Cool. And then I am going to make a file. So I'm going to do touch index.html. Cool. And if you look, you can see automatically that index file was created inside, right? That index file was created inside of the example folder. So that touch gives us the ability to create a file. So we saw the ability to move in and out of folders, to create folders, but also to create files, all from the command line here, all in this terminal window. Cool. Hey, Indifferent, welcome. Never going to be able to open another folder again. All right, let's keep it moving. ls is a wonderful command that enables you to see all of the stuff that's inside of the folder that you are in. It's going to show us all of the wonderful stuff that's in here. So I'm going to do ls. Whoop. I'm going to do ls. Hit enter. And when I hit that ls command, it's going to enable you just like the list stuff, right? You can see that there is an index.html inside the example folder, right? So it's just enabling us to see what's inside of that folder. Cool. Oh, there's Raffles, all right. There's Raffles. But we got to get through the material. We got to get through a hard thing, and then we get a raffle. That's our reward. All right. Alrighty. So list will show us kind of quick stuff that's inside the folder. ls with a flag. Whenever you see the hyphen followed by another letter or something like that, we call those flags. They're kind of just like basically like little changes to what you're asking the command to do. Some folks might not call these commands, they might call them something like utility, like they're like programs that are running on your computer sometimes. And these flags can help you kind of modify what you're asking for. Okay. Ooh, Memphis with the hydration. Cheers to you. There we go. This reminds me of a coffee chat I had where the dev was nice enough to do a code along with me. They were using the terminal for getting around and stuff, and I was just like, yeah. Well, hey, now hopefully it's making a little bit more sense. Hopefully things are sinking in. So when I do this ls, ls dash la, or dash l for right now, you're going to see slightly different result. You're going to see kind of a couple interesting things. This right here is kind of like the permissions for the file. Like, are you able to make changes or not? This is kind of like who made it, when they made it. And so you can see that we just made it a few seconds ago, right? And so that lsl command is going to give you a little bit more details that you might need depending on what you're doing. And then there's one other command that's kind of the same vein here with just a different flag. And that's ls-la. And that's going to give you all the goodies. It's going to give you everything that you need, right? And so it's going to give you not only the stuff that we saw with ls-l, right, with the L flag, but now you're going to also see the hidden files, right? You're also going to see the hidden files, right? So the files, like, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, in the stuff I share, sometimes there's like a DS store file, or there's a file that you can't see in the GUI, but with the ls-la command, you'll be able to see it here in the terminal. Ms. Turner said, hey, are we still taking breaks today? Yes, we are. We always like to take a break at the top at the hour. So we're going to get through just a few more concepts here, and then we're going to take our break. We're going to come back. You're going to try doing something, and then we're going to do a raffle. Okay? So let's go ahead and just see these last few commands, and then we're going to take our break at the top of the hour. All right. There is a command to remove files, right? So right now I could go ahead and do rm, and then just the index.html. And if I remove it, you can see it disappeared automatically in the GUI as well. That file is gone. It's gone, right? There's another command that we can use here too. The rm-r can be used to remove folders. So let's go up a level, cd ... Now we are in our class 21 folder, and we want to remove that example folder. So let's go ahead and do rm. We're going to do -r, and then we're going to say example. And boom, that folder gone. Gone, right? It's gone. So we removed it. There's one other command. So if there are stuff inside the folder that have special permissions, or if you just want to be quicker about it, there is also the dreaded rm-rf. It's not dreaded. It's just really powerful. What this stands for is force. It stands for force. So you could do the rm-rf and then the name of the folder. Whenever you see these carets, just know that those carets go away too. That's just kind of showing you that you're going to plug something in, but those carets go away too, right? So the rm-rf, you got to be real careful with it, because once it's gone, and it will forcefully remove anything. As long as you have permissions to use it, it'll go away. So I don't even like mentioning this, but if you've ever been in, like, you've ever played like a video game, like I play a lot of Counter-Strike. One of the things people always used to say back in the day was like, oh, like if you want better, like if like somebody would say, oh, my game's running kind of sluggish, is there anything I could do? And people would say, oh yeah, just go ahead and do Alt F4, right? And then they would hit the Alt F4 command, and you would see them like disconnect from the game because that closed their window. That was like the tame thing to do. The evil thing to do was to tell them to do this on like a really important folder and then watch them go offline and not come back on for a long time, right? So don't do this, but protect yourself if somebody ever tells you to do it, right? So nowadays, a lot of times this is kind of protected on certain things, but be careful, folks. Whenever you're using a force command, always be careful. Make sure you're not deleting something that you don't really want to delete. Alrighty. we are at the top of the hour. So we got one more command that I want to show, and then we're going to take a break. So let's go ahead and show the last command I want to show. It's a wonderful command. It is clear. I hit clear. You ready? Boom. Doesn't change anything. It just gets rid of all the stuff that's currently in the terminal so that you can start fresh at the top. All right. So clears it out so that you have a nice, clean workspace to start working again. I love everybody saying, ooh, wow, so clear. I love it. It is clear. Cool. Alrighty, folks. It is the top of the hour. If you're new here, we like to stay healthy. We encourage taking breaks. If you are able, get up, take a break, hydrate. If you have to stay seated or however you are viewing the stream and you're able, maybe get some hand stretches in. If you can't get hand stretches in, maybe look away from the screen, let your eyes focus on something that's a little bit further away. And we are going to take a 5-minute break. So I'm going to go ahead and put a timer up here on the clock for you. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Go ahead, do what you need to do. We'll be here when you get back. But take that break. I'm going to play some music for you. When we come back, though, you're going to do this. You're going to use the terminal, maybe for the first time, and then we're going to do the raffle. Whoo! We're going to do a raffle. All right. 20 minutes, folks. Let's make this bigger. 20 minutes. 5 minutes, sorry. There you go. 5 whole minutes and come on back. We're going to start putting this stuff into practice. You're going to practice using the terminal, and then we're going to get to Git. If you're able to, get up, hydrate, move around a little bit. If you're not able to get those fingers going, try that. Let your eyes focus far away. Fox with the hydration. Hey, thank you for the hydration. How do I don't know how to cover my cam now with all the new stuff. Oh, I'll just be right back. Fox with the stretch. I'm gonna get my stretch in. Oh yeah. You don't get to see the stretching on cam. Anybody that might be new, there is a channel point redemption for my OnlyFans. You're welcome to do that if you would like. It's only 1 million channel points. That's where all that stuff goes. All right, folks, you got about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Come back. We're going to get some practice with the terminal, and then we're going to do a raffle. I don't know, Emma. I don't know. Is not everyone watching on Twitch? This may be reposted to some other YouTube channels. So not everyone might be here. So it might be on rehost it somewhere else. We need more predictions today. Yeah, we'll bring predictions back on Thursday. I'll give you a chance to YOLO some of those points. Somebody said on Twitter today on one of the tweets. Somebody said GameStop didn't work out, so now I gotta learn Git. Zeus, I think it was. I laughed out loud so hard. Someone's gonna YOLO their way to 1 mil, and when things are gonna get weird. Yeah, they are. They're what are called different shells. Basically, just different flavors of what we see here. Slightly different commands, maybe slightly different utilities, but not really. Just slight differences. Hey. I'm 1 YOLO away from a spicy Leon rant. Oh boy. Oh, David, you're close. You can do it. Tony, with the newest version of Mac OS, the terminal went from Bash to what you have now. Yeah, so it changed. It's a different shell now. So I am not on I never run the newest version of Mac OS, so I'm on the older Bash shell. You're using a different one. Yeah. Not that it's not a preference or anything. I just haven't upgraded. That's weird, Mitch. I'm not sure. Kev, this brings me back to DOS. I think I'm going to be comfortable with Git. Heck yeah, let's go. Zag. Hogo. Gates, that makes sense. Hey, we got a lot of new folks. Welcome, folks. Giordano, Del, Kura, Gab, Baldy, Man Brave. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the stream. We're taking a break. We got 30 seconds left, folks. Grab your water. Do what you got to do. Come on back. Is it better to use Linux or Git Bash on Windows? I'm a big fan of WSL, the Windows subsystem. I think that's my favorite if I'm using Windows. But for today, Git Bash is totally fine. A deal with the hydration. Wilson F. Baby in the chat. Thank you for the hydration as well. Double drink. I need my scotch. Alrighty, folks. That was 2 hydrations, though. Come on back. Let's get into this. We got some fun stuff to do. Mitch, you got 140 in? Whew. That's dope. All right. Let's go ahead and get back into it, folks. Just setting some stuff up over here. Alrighty, come on back. If you were hydrating, come on back. If you were stretching, come on back. We got some fun stuff to get into, folks. Miss Turner said, does anyone use their terminal inside of VS Code? Absolutely. We're going to see that a little bit later today. But yeah, you don't have to use like a standalone terminal here. VS Code has a terminal built in that you can use to run all your commands. Really helpful, especially as we start getting into more like node heavy stuff in a week or two. Yeah, I always use the VS Code terminal. Yeah, it's great. Use it. This is just a little bit easier for me to like demonstrate the commands. Yeah, but we'll see that a little bit. All right, I'm gonna chill the music here. Alrighty, so welcome back. Hope you had a good break. We're gonna have you try some of this stuff out, and then we're gonna do the first raffle of the night. So there's one other kind of brief command before we talk about how you can get the terminal going, and we're gonna be using VS Code tonight to edit some of our code. And the really cool thing is that you can open up the stuff that you create in VS Code directly from the terminal. So let's say you didn't want to use the VS Code terminal for whatever reason, or let's say you already had this open and you wanted to go from here to VS Code. You can just type code, and then whatever you put after it, the folder, the file name, that'll open up in VS Code for you. So this is the command to do it. You have to open up VS Code. And when you open up VS Code, what you're going to see is that you can do view and then that command palette inside the view dropdown. And then you have this lovely thing that you can just click on, and that will enable you to install the code path. So whenever you type code in your terminal, it'll open stuff into VS Code for you. So that's just another way to get to your files and stuff like that. Let me go ahead and create a file here and then show you that. So I'm going to create a new directory like we saw earlier called example. All right. And then I'm going to move into example. And I am going to create an index.html file. So touch index.html. There we go. So you can see in my GUI that there is an index.html. Right? You can see in the GUI that there's an index.html. And I can now do something really cool. I can just do, let's go ahead and, let's just do code and then index.html. I hit enter, and there we go. I got VS Code opening up, and it opened up the index.html directly into VS Code for me. So if you want this to work, all you have to do is select view, command palette. There might be a keyboard command depending on what you're using. On Mac, it's Shift Command P. You click that view, you click command palette, and you get this thing here. And what you're looking for is shell command install code path. You click that, and that's it. You're ready to rock and roll. From your terminal, you can now open up VS Code directly. And it works with not only just individual files, but if I go up a level, right, I can do code and then example, and it'll open up the entire folder for me with the tree view on the left-hand side, which is always pretty clutch. Cool. Just did it. Awesome. That's so cool. Woo. Alrighty. So that's one way. You can always still open your code the normal way. You can always kind of just do your normal way that you open your folders and your files. But that was a good way of doing it. Now, if you are on Windows or you want to access the terminal, let's talk about how you're going to do that. So how are you going to access the terminal? If you are on Windows, I highly recommend installing Git for Windows, which will install Git Bash for you. So I asked folks yesterday on Discord to install it. I'm going to give you some time to install it now if you're new or just kind of tuning in and you're not part of our Discord community. !Discord to join our Discord in chat here. Git for Windows is going to, or Git Bash is going to give you the same commands. So all the commands we just used and learned about are going to work in Git Bash fine, and you can set things up the normal way here. Hey, Armin, thank you so much for the hydration. Cheers to you. Now, you can also open the terminal right in VS Code as well, and so we'll see that in a few minutes. If you are on Mac or GNU Linux, you can go ahead and go to your applications, and there should be a terminal application that comes with Mac or GNU Linux. What you see here is not actually the default terminal. That's something called iTerm. It's just something I prefer. It enables me to do transparency on the terminal, which is really nice. I'm not sure if that's built into the traditional Mac one, but there's a lot of little improvements that I like about it that I use iTerm instead of the default. Also kind of free. Cool. So don't worry about Git yet. We want to get that terminal up and running. And what I would like for you to do is to set up a normal folder path for the front end code that we've been working on. So if you're new here, we are part of a 30-week software engineering bootcamp where we've covered HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What I am asking folks to do now, we're going to put a timer on the clock as well. What I'm asking you to do is to, in the terminal, create a folder. In that folder, have your normal setup. Your index, your CSS folder, your JavaScript folder, your style.css, your main.js. Set all of that up, but don't you dare touch that GUI. All CLI. Don't you touch that GUI. All right. Don't touch it. All from the terminal. All from the terminal, okay? So set up your normal folder that we'd use for kind of class and for building our front end projects, all from the terminal. So let's go ahead and put a timer on the clock here. I'm going to give you all, how much time do you think we need? 4 minutes on this one? 4 minutes? Just to figure it out. You might need, let's do the normal 5. Let's do the normal 5 because some folks still might need to install Git Bash or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put 5 minutes on the timer here. Go ahead and get started. If you finish early, delete it, do it again. See how fast you can get it done. I'm going to give you some music this evening to start. Don't worry, Microsoft, this is all royalty free. There we go. Mayu, you're lost. What are you lost on? What are you having trouble with? What's tripping you up this evening? Oh, Rossi, I've been doing DOS for 25 years. Dunzo. I can't move between the folders. So you're in the terminal and you're doing CD to get into a folder. Make sure that you actually have like the folders created, right? maybe do the pwd to see where you are. Maybe you're already in the folder. So make sure that you're not already in the folder. Make sure that you can either go in with cd or up with cd dot dot. Try either of those. We got a lot of folks coming in done real quick. Nicole's, Kev, Bill Gates is done. K-Cos is done. The Art of Missy, nice. Ooh, Kenny figured out a hack there. You can drag the folder into the terminal to get to that location. That's a nice little trick there. All right. Whew. Okay, so many people. I mean, I should have done this. This should have been 3 minutes. But I wanted to make sure, in case folks didn't see the message in Discord yesterday, that they can go ahead and take the time they need to download Git Bash or whatever they might need. Go ahead. You still got 3 minutes if you're following along. If you're new here, welcome. Glad you decided to join us. What am I asking for again? I'm asking for the normal folder setup that we use for all of our projects. I want you to create an index.html. I want you to create a CSS folder, a JavaScript folder, put a style.cs in there, put a main.js in there, do all this stuff, then go ahead and open it up in VS Code and make sure you have your HTML file there. Maybe put your box model hack in your CSS file. All the folks that got here pretty quickly, maybe go back and do that as well. Make sure you have like a console log in your JavaScript, the way you know everything's linked and working well. Alyssa, don't touch that GUI. Put a space. Put a space. Yes. What is PWD giving you? Cookie. Don't touch that GUI challenge on Instagram starts now. You know, I never really use my Instagram. I put it on here though for this new background. Might have to dust it off and start posting some stuff on Instagram. Ooh, Rockefeller getting fancy up in here. I like that. How to open a file in Windows VS Code without touching the GUI. You're gonna need to set up that path that we just talked about. Let me move this over. You're gonna need to do this. You need to go to View, Command Palette, and then you're gonna want to run this one or just hit Enter on this one, and then that'll enable you to type in code, and then any folder like I did here. Like you can do code, and then the folder, and that'll open the whole folder for you. It's the same thing, Mitch. You can just do code and then open a folder, and it'll open the folder for you as well. Got 30 seconds, folks. 30 seconds. Come on back. We're going to do it together, and then we're going to do the first raffle of the evening. Alrighty. Oh, I forgot that. Yeah. Rip. Let's go back here. I'm not doing anything right now. It's just the examples up there if you need it. All right. So hype, Reptar. Let's go. Alrighty, folks, come on back. Come on back. Let's go over this together. Let's chill the music here. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and do this together. I am going to delete my folder first. So I'm just going to delete it and do the whole thing. Let me go ahead and clear so that there's nothing here. I am going to remove forcefully my example folder. Watch my GUI. All right, I'm going to hit enter. Rip. All right. Now let's go ahead and create that folder. So I'm going to do We're going to do make dir. Cool. I'm going to call it example. We got the folder back. Let's go into that folder. Cool. Now we're in that folder. We can see. I can even ask, hey, where am I at? Great. You can see I'm inside my class 21 folder. I'm inside of example. Let me go ahead and clear just again. All right, I'm inside the example folder. Let's go ahead and make our HTML file touch index.html. Cool. So you can see now I got my HTML file. Let's make a CS folder or CSS folder. Make dir CSS. Let's also make our JavaScript folder while we're here. Cool. Let's go into the CSS folder, right? We're going to go into the CSS folder, right? I'm going to go into the CSS folder. Cool. You can see that I am in the CSS folder right now. And I am going to go ahead and do a touch. And I'm going to create a style.css. Cool. If I go down to my GUI here, you're going to see that the style.css is in there. I want to go back up, though. I want to get to my JavaScript folder. Chat, how can I get to the JavaScript folder from where I'm at right now? I'm in the CSS folder. How do I get to the JavaScript folder? Cool. Yeah, we're going to do cd ... Nice. Cool. We went up. We're in the main example folder now. And now we can cd into the JS folder. Cool. All right, we're in the JavaScript folder. Let's go ahead and create our main.js. Cool. It looks good. I'm going to go up a level. I'm back at the example folder, kind of the root level of the example folder. And I'm going to go ahead and go up a level one more, go back to the class 21, and then I'm going to use the code path to just open the entire folder. Cool. And there you go. It's going to open up in VS Code for me. I didn't use touch, just style.css, and it still worked. Hey, there we go. Touch is normally the command to create it, but you could have maybe found one of the other ways to do it. And we have our little tree view over here. I'm going to go to my index.html, and I'm going to do the normal shortcut that we always use. There we go. And I'm just going to put an H1 in here. Whoop. Do an H1. Thank you, Microsoft Azure. There we go. We're going to quick thank you to them because, folks, we just did it. We set up the entire folder structure. You can see it here in the GUI if you don't believe me. And in that GUI, we have our lovely folder with our CSS folder, our JavaScript folder. We have a style.css and an index.html. And if we look in the JavaScript folder, is also our main.js. We did the whole thing without touching the GUI. I don't know if you're ready, folks. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time for a raffle, folks. It's time for the raffle. I'm going to go ahead and queue it up over here. So the way the raffle is going to work is we're going to do two. The first raffle, so please, please, please don't spam raffle just yet. The first raffle is for folks that are in the US. So Microsoft Azure is sponsoring the swag packages for folks in the US. So the first raffle will be for folks that are in the US. If you win that raffle and you're not in the US, we're moving on to the next person, right? So you have to be from the US. Then once that raffle is done, we're going to do another raffle for anybody that's in the whole world. So anywhere in the world you are, we'll run that raffle and you'll have access to it. Okay. So let's go ahead and set up the first raffle here. So we're going to go ahead and open it. It should be open to everyone. Set a prize. Microsoft. Well, let's just do that. Boom. We're going to add it. Alrighty. The raffle is starting. Well, hold on. Sorry, I gotta. It doesn't let me queue these up. Hold on, let me edit it real quick. Just want to make sure that we don't have a timer on it. We're good. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. All right. So here is the first raffle, should be live. Exclamation point raffle for folks in the US. Go ahead and throw that in there. Should see these start coming in on my end. I'm seeing them come in already. All right, it's working. It's open. Exclamation point raffle if you're in the US for the first Microsoft swag pack of the evening. Get in here. We're going to leave it open for just another 20-ish seconds. So 20 more seconds to get in here, and then we will announce the winner. I don't know if this is an alert that pops up. Let's see. Because the other ones did before last time we were doing them. So let's see. All right, folks, let's put some jams on here. All right. I'm going to close it in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closing it now. All right, we're going to pick a winner. J. Arnold 3, you just won a Microsoft swag package. Congrats. What I need you to do is I need you to message me on Discord. Message me on Discord, and I'm gonna need some information from you. So message me on Discord, swag pack, and we'll get you hooked up there. So all right, that's the first one. I'm just gonna write it down so I don't forget. Cool. All right, folks, we're going to queue up the next one. The next one is for folks anywhere in the world. You'll get shipped anywhere in the world. This will be a Learn with Leon swag pack. So let's go ahead and set that up. That is completed. All right, going to do another giveaway here. Cool. Dope. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and run this next one, setting it up here. It's open for everyone anywhere in the world. We're starting it now. So exclamation point raffle will get you in for the global swag pack. If you're from the US, don't use this command. This is for folks that are not in the US. Alrighty, folks. I'm gonna leave it open for those 60 seconds. Let the spam rain through. I love it. Yeah, definitely don't. Yeah, there's no way you're getting it. Like you're trying to get some things here in chat, so it's gonna be a little wild for a few seconds. Hey, let's go. Let's go. All right, we're gonna close it up now in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, closing the first global giveaway here, and I'm gonna pick the winner. JV Entertainment, you got yourself a swag package coming your way. Please message me on Discord, swag pack, and we'll get you all set up. Well done, well done, well done. Alrighty, let's keep it moving, folks. We got a lot of fun stuff to get through. I'm gonna chill the music here. That was just the first round. We got 7 more to go. We got 7 more raffles to do tonight. We're gonna get through it. Exactly. Well, we're gonna get through it. Alrighty. So I hope the terminal is a little less scary now. For a lot of folks, they kind of panic when they see this terminal thing, but really it's just a way for you to navigate your computer, to run some programs without needing the GUI, without needing to drag and drop folders, right? That's the first. We got 7 more to go. Let's keep it going. All right. Oh, I didn't put the raffle slide up. That was the first Raffle slide. I thought this was super appropriate. The swag, the Leon swag pack should be folks that are not in the US. We want everyone to have a fair shot here. So the US folks are getting the Microsoft ones. Folks that are not in the US, they're getting the Leon ones. So if you did a double, you're okay, right? But for the next ones, let's keep it fair for everyone in the community. All right. We're going to be where the money resides. I've watched this way too much. Way too much. What comes in the Microsoft swag? There's a lot of stuff. We're talking t-shirts, water bottles, the works, all the swag, all the good swag, the swag that you want. The Leon swag pack has a t-shirt and some other surprise goodies that'll be shipped to anywhere in the world that you are. Jersey Boss Bay with the highlight where the money resides. Hey, let's go. We got a hydration. Let me go ahead and pull that up. I got to get back to my other screen here. Booty liquor with the hydration. Thank you so much. Cheers to you. Let's go. All right, so let's get into the thickest stuff tonight, folks. What the heck is this Git thing? What is this Git thing? Hey, say you on 111. Thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Thank you for the hydration. Let's keep it going. So what is Git? So I got a question for chat. Let's go back a little bit. Not current day. Let's go back a few years. Travel with me. Travel with me back a few years. Now, I had a very interesting high school experience. I started off high school using floppy disks to back up my work. I went to an engineering high school, and I remember using floppy disks to back up my work. So let's say I was using Microsoft Word, and I wanted to back up my stuff. I put it on a floppy disk. By the end of my high school experience, we had flash drives. So there was like a year or two of like me going to the library and paying $0.25 for a floppy disk. And then there was like zip drives for like 6 months. And then by the time I graduated, we were using flash drives. I remember, because I procrastinate like hell, I remember always being in the library, frantically trying to finish up a paper before I had to turn it in next class. And I was really paranoid about losing my work, right? About losing my work. So I always had like multiple floppy drives, right? I would put the drive in, I would save it, I'd take it out, I put another one in, save it on that one, and I would be doing this obsessively, like wasting so much time during my lunch just trying to finish this project, but I was just really afraid of like the computer crashing and me losing everything. Now, by the end of like high school and maybe like the beginning of my time at university, I started doing this other technique. This other technique was I would get my Word document to a point where I really liked what was going on, and then I would zip it, like zip everything that was there, and email it to myself, right? And so I would zip it, and then I would email it to myself. And so by the time, like if I was working on like a really long paper, let's say we're working on like a pretty long paper, by the end of like me working on that paper, I would have like 20 emails to myself, right? I'd have like 20 emails to myself that were just different versions of the same project, right? It was the same essay, but there were 20 different versions of it just in my email. This is before we had Microsoft Online 365, right? It was before we had that and things kind of auto-saved, right? But, I really appreciate everyone in chat saying I did all of this. Like, there's so many of you that are like, yep, I did that. Yep, I did that. Right. And so by the time I was ready to submit, I would look back through my email and I would see 20 different versions of my same essay. And sometimes I would be like really unhappy with the current version of my essay, but it was too far gone for me to like start making a bunch of changes. And so what I would do is I would just go back to an older email. I would just go back to an older email, download that file, and start using that one, right? And so that was my like really rudimentary way of something we call version control, right? I had all these different versions of the same essay that I had backed up in my email because I was super paranoid of my computer crashing. I had like this really old gateway when I first went into uni. And that was version control. Like I could go back through my email and find all these different versions of that same essay at different points in time. If I didn't like the one I was currently working on, I could go back to a different one. Right? Right? And then whenever I was happy with where I was at with the essay, I would save it, email it to myself. And this is what we call version control. It was a very rudimentary, right? It was a very rudimentary, born out of necessity way for me, right? Way for me to back up all of my stuff. Okay? Now, what if I wanted to also work with someone else, right? Maybe we were both working on this essay together, right? So I've been like paranoid, saving, emailing to myself. I got 20 different versions of the same essay. What would I do if I wanted to work with someone else? This is before like track changes were a thing, or even like I might not even know track changes were a thing, right? So what I was doing is I was saving my essay, emailing it to someone else. They would email it back. You remember all this? Do you remember having to do this? And then there would be like changes made in it, right? I would update my changes. I would email it to myself again to back it up. Maybe I would email it back to them, right? It sucked. It was horrible. Thank you, Bill Gates, if you're still in chat. Microsoft 365 changed the game, right? Like the ability, like all this stuff just kind of happens for us now is wild. But this idea of like saving different versions of my essay and being able to send different versions of my essay to people that want to work with me is exactly what Git does for our code. It's all it is. It's just enabling us to like make these save points as we're working on our code. And the really cool thing is that we can back up these save points on a service like GitHub. So we can make this save point and then we can back up our save point on GitHub. And the really, really cool thing about Git and GitHub is not only can I back up my code on GitHub, but there's a whole suite of tools that make it really easy for other developers to like grab my code, make changes, for me to see the changes, to approve changes, right? And so if you're having a hard time thinking of what Git is, think of me struggling in university to back up my essay. Every once in a while, I'm saving it and I'm sending it to my email, right? If I wanted to work with somebody else, I'm sending them that email. Git is the exact same thing, right? It's a way of taking a snapshot, like a nice little save point for wherever you're at in your code. And the beautiful thing about it is you just have all these different save points. And if you ever want to go back in time, you can just roll back to one of those save points, to one of those snapshots, right? And so it's magic. It changes the way in which you as a developer write code, because it removes like this level of fear, like that I'm going to mess something up. It removes this level of fear that if I completely mess everything up, I know that I can just roll back to one of those save points. Just like I could open up my email and grab the version of the essay from a couple emails ago and start fresh from that save point, Git is the same thing. And now not only does it enable us to have local save points, like saving multiple different snapshots like locally on our computer, if we use GitHub, we can also back it up remotely so that those save points exist not only on our computer, but on a cloud service like GitHub, so that I can, if something was to go wrong with my laptop, all my code is on GitHub. So all I have to do is pull down my code from GitHub and I'm back to right where I started. Cool. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to see how Git can help us kind of make these save points or these snapshots for our code. We're going to see how to use Git to enable us to do some more risky stuff, which I'll show in a few minutes, right? And then we're going to show how to back up our stuff on GitHub. And then the really cool thing is once you put those save points or snapshots on GitHub, you can instantly turn them into live websites. So if it's a static file, like if it's just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you do like one thing real quick and you can instantly have it hosted, which is really cool, using something called GitHub Pages. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see how Git can enable us to make these save points for our code. We're going to see how, since we have save points, we can take some more risks with our code. And then we're going to learn how to not have things all locally, but start getting our stuff off of our machine and have real true backups so that if something was to ever happen to our machine, we can pull down our code and get back to where we started, right? And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to finish off with this idea of being able to, once we push our stuff up to GitHub, there are a lot of really cool features that make it easy to work with developers. But one really cool thing is turning your sites instantly into hosted sites. It's neat. It's real cool. We're going to see it. All right. The technical term for this is version control. All that means is that it's a really fancy way of tracking changes. So you're going to hear people call Git version control. Just another term for fancy way of keeping track of changes. The key thing with Git is it enables you to make these snapshots. There's a deeper meaning to the word snapshot, but for now, just think of it as like all your code saved, right? And it makes it really easy to take these snapshots by making something called a commit. So if you think about like a real snapshot, you hit like the button and it like takes a photo, right? You can take a save point of your code, right? You can make a snapshot of your code by making a commit. So that's the terminology that we're going to use. Our commits enable us to kind of take that snapshot of all of our code. And then the beautiful thing is that if you mess something up, or you don't like the trajectory you've gone with the code that you're working on, you can always roll back to previous commits or previous snapshots. So tonight, we're going to dive... I love that way of explaining it. Hey, I hope that that idea of like emailing yourself sunk in a little bit, because that's what made it... That's what, when I started thinking about like that, that's when Git really made a lot of sense to me. Now, the beautiful thing is we can roll back to those previous save points and start fresh. So a lot of folks, when they're first learning, right? When they're first learning, one of the really kind of barriers to them pushing is they're really afraid that they're going to mess everything up, right? Like if I like don't pay attention, maybe my JavaScript gets so far away from me, I lose my train of thought. I don't know what I'm doing, right? And that's a really scary thing, like to the idea that you might like mess up some things that are already working. Well, with Git, you can always roll back to a save point that you knew was working. And we're going to see something called branches too that enable you to make these risks a little bit easier. So that's kind of a quick overview of like what Git is. That's a tough topic. Kudos to you to like digging in and pushing your brain to understand it. Time for a raffle. All right. So while we set up this raffle, if you have questions, go ahead and ask questions. I'm happy to answer like basic Git questions. Like if you're having a hard time understanding that concept. Love this. I love it too. Push versus commit. We're going to get to that in a second. We got a whole bunch of slides on that. I got you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. This first raffle will be for folks in the US only, folks. This is the Microsoft Swag Pack raffle. If you're in the US, that's how we're going to do it. All right, I'm going to start a new giveaway. All right, raffle is live. You got a minute to get in here, folks. A minute to get in here. Woo, see a lot of folks coming in. Alrighty, got a minute to get in here, folks. Exclamation point raffle. If you're new, welcome. We're learning about the terminal, Git, GitHub today, depending on where you're coming from. Hey, let's go. 30 seconds left and get in here. 30 seconds left. Look at all these raffles coming in. Whew. This is for US only. US only. You're in here. Alrighty. Got a lot of new folks. Welcome to the new folks. Jay, Posh, Blah, Idiocracy, Shock, Dan Life, Pudding, Mr. Anthony, Pingo Way. Welcome. Alrighty, closing the raffle in 3, 2, 1. Esden, hey, thank you for the raid. Hold on, let's resume the entries. If you're new and here in the US, we have a raffle going on right now. Microsoft is sponsoring our stream right now. So you can get into a raffle for a Microsoft swag bag right now. And then we're gonna do another raffle for folks that aren't in the US. So go ahead and do exclamation point raffle right now if you wanna get in. Thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? What were y'all doing today? It's gonna be a little hard to see everything because all the raffle comments, but hope your stream went well. Thank you for joining us. Hope your stream went well. If you've never tuned in to our stream before, we're doing a 30-week software engineering bootcamp. So if you ever wanted to learn to code for completely free, you can join us. Microsoft is sponsoring our class tonight on Git and GitHub. So we got a lot of fun raffles to give away. Believe it or not, this is only our second raffle. So we got 6 more to go tonight, folks. 6 more to go. Alrighty, I'm going to close it now just because we had the new folks come in. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you enjoy yourself. Hope your stream went well. Let's go ahead and close those entries. All right, I'm going to pick a winner. It'd be dope if somebody from their community won. That'd be so cool. You guys raid. Sorry, y'all raid. And one of them win. That'd be so cool. All right, let's pick a winner. 3, 2, 1. Green 323232. You are the proud owner of a Microsoft swag package. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you, Azure. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go ahead and set up the next one. To redeem your prize, hit me up on Discord. Send me a message. I'm going to need some information from you. Cool. Simba's excited. I don't know if you heard somebody. He's excited for the raffle. All right, let's do the next one. I'm going to complete this one. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub. Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead and do the, for folks that aren't in the US only, please. Anywhere in the world, this will come to you. It's the Learn with Leon swag pack. We are starting that giveaway now. Go ahead and do exclamation point raffle. Non-US folks, non-US folks. Now that was Bill Gates for real. That's hilarious. All right, we're gonna leave that open for the minute as well. Welcome, folks. Hope you're doing well. Got a lot of fun stuff to go on tonight. We got 6 more of these raffles. We just learned about the terminal. We're gonna get into Git and how it works. Then we're gonna learn about GitHub and how it works. And we're doing it from bare bones, from you never heard of it before, you never touched a terminal before, all the basics that you need to know for it to make sense. That's what we're doing. Raffle isn't live? It says it's live. It says it's open. Not giving any tickets. I wonder if it got timed out. Hold on. Let me close this one. Let me cancel it. Let me try it again. We'll run it again. Giveaway has started. Let's see. Yeah, I can see it on my end that it's not doing it. Let me go ahead and let me just cancel this whole one, and I'm going to create a new one, and let's see if that works. Cool. Give me 1 second here, folks. I think that like it might have like overloaded it or something. That's wild. All right, custom giveaway. We're doing a swag pack. Cool. Swag pack. Cool. Enabled. Open to everyone. All right, so I created a new one. Let's see if this will work. Here we go. Giveaway has started. Hey, there we go. It's open. Go ahead and do exclamation point raffle. I guess we got to create new ones every single time now or something weird. But that worked for whatever reason, so let's go ahead. This is for the second Learn with Leon swag package. Open to anyone in the world. Sorry, it took a few seconds to get there. It's open for the next, let's do 45 seconds here. And then we're going to get right back into the learning, folks. We got a lot of learning to do tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is for non-US folks. This is shipping globally. Globally. Anywhere you are. I hope you're not in Antarctica. Alrighty. Gonna close that in 20 seconds. Super close. New Zealand. Oh, that makes sense. I like filthy hobbits being from New Zealand. That's hilarious. Alrighty, folks. I'm gonna close this one in just a few seconds here. 3, 2, 1. We're closing. Gonna pick that winner. Purple Aurora Elements, congratulations. Purple Aurora Elements, congratulations. Go ahead and hit me up on Discord and I will get that your way. Well done. That's awesome. Dope. All right, folks, we got a lot of other fun stuff to get to. We got 6 more raffles to go. I can't believe this. This is wild. All right, let's complete this one. Nice. All right, raffles are closed. Let's chill the music here. Let's get into it. All right. If you did not install Git yet, here are some commands that you can use to install Git. If you are on Windows and you've already installed Git for Windows, you're fine. You're already set up. You're good to go. Just hang on for a second and we'll get you moving. If you are on Mac OS and you do not have Git installed, maybe you didn't see the post from yesterday, there is a way to install it through Homebrew, which is what I recommend and what I use. What you're going to do is open up your terminal and you're going to take this entire line. Whenever you see the bling, like that $sign, that just lets you know that's where the command starts. You don't ever include the bling. That just lets you know, like, all right, that's where it starts. You can see the bling here in the terminal, right? You see it there? That's just letting you know, like, that's where you start entering your commands. It's not part of the command. Doesn't matter where you are. Doesn't matter where you're at in the process in your terminal. If you feel comfortable, some folks just like to do a quick cd tilde just to be at their kind of root, but you're just going to take this whole line going to copy it, and you're just going to paste it here, and that's it. You'll hit enter, and it'll install Homebrew for you. Once Homebrew is installed, you do brew install Git, and that'll install Git for you. But before you kind of run to do it, if you don't already know, just go ahead and check git-version. What that's going to do is it's going to show you whether or not you have Git already installed. There's a good chance, there's already a good chance that you have some version of Git installed. So just check, make sure, and then go ahead. And if you need to, do this via Homebrew, which is my preferred way of doing it. Tons of other ways to install it. This one just seems to be the simplest one. I like it through Homebrew. I think it's just easiest. Cool. I just ever said, what do I do if I get bingo? You throw bingo in chat, and you relish in the fact that you've won bingo this evening. Password is the password to your computer. And so a lot of times when you're running these commands and ask for passwords, what you're going to notice is that you don't actually see the password as you type it. So you're typing out your password. It is typing it out. It's just not showing it to you, and then you hit enter. So just be careful. Ooh. Chufer 24 with the hydration. Cheers to you. Thank you. Can you explain git bash versus using the command prompt? Yeah, so git bash just gives you some of the commands and utilities. They're going to be very similar to folks that are using Mac OS or GNU Linux. Just a lot of the commands that you see when you're doing research online. So it just makes it a little bit more familiar for developers to work through git bash. Cool. I can't type my password. It's locked. Go ahead and post on Discord. It will help you get kind of through it. Sometimes you might need to do what is called sudo. So you might have to put sudo before any of your commands just to give your computer admin privileges when you make commands. I have GitHub Desktop. Is that the same thing? We're doing all of our commands through the terminal tonight. So as long as you have access to the terminal way of doing it, it's okay. We're not going to use any of the GUIs tonight. They might be totally acceptable ways of kind of like using Git and therefore GitHub. But tonight we're just doing it all from the terminal just to get ourselves comfortable with that. Legend of Lala with the stretch. Let me go ahead. Let me show the last one here. If you are on GNU Linux, you open up your terminal, you do sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get install. This is for Debian Ubuntu. If you're on a different flavor of GNU Linux, there might be a slightly different command based on the package manager that you are using. If for some reason installing Git is giving you headache tonight, it's not working, that's okay. You're still gonna be able to follow along with us. Do that. Get on the Discord after class tonight on Discord. I'll be in there helping folks kind of if you're having any trouble setting up Git. So don't panic if it's not working, it's not installing. Don't worry. Jump on Discord after class. I'll help you there. We'll do share screen and all that fun stuff. So don't worry about it. If for whatever reason you can't get it, we'll come back to it. I do have a stretch, so let me get a stretch going here. Be right back. You don't get this good content. Oh yeah. Cool. So thank you for the stretch. If you want to see me stretching, that's OnlyFans content. 1 million channel points and it's yours. Cool. Now, once you have Git installed, by any means that you've done it, if you've done it through Git Bash, you've done it through Homebrew and Mac OS, you've done it for GNU Linux, once you have it installed, right? Once you have it installed, you're going to want to run these two very specific commands. And so remember, you don't include the $sign. Everything after the $sign is the command you're going to throw in there. And you're not going to use my name. You're going to use your name and your email. Now, the email that you use is important. You should use the same email that you're going to use when you sign up for GitHub. Okay? Use the same email that you're going to use when you sign up for GitHub. Now, these commands that you just copy and paste into your terminal, make sure you change your name to whatever it may be. If it's not Leon Noel, maybe it is Leon Noel, maybe it's not. Maybe it's Bob Boberson. I'm not going to hit enter because I don't want to change my Git name to Bob Boberson, but that's the command. What this is going to do is it is going to make sure that when you kind of save those snapshots, those save points of your code, it's going to make sure that it's going to say that you are the person that made those snapshots, those commits, right? And so this is really helpful when you're working with other engineers or with other folks to be able to see, all right, who did what, who contributed what. And so it's important that you set these two things. You are totally able to change your email and things like that in the future. Yeah. Alrighty. So those are the two commands you want to put in. But like I said, if it's too tricky, you're not hanging on. Like I said, this could be a very frustrating topic. If this is your first time using the terminal, first time using commands like this, don't worry. Follow along so you learn the basics, and then we'll get together after stream to see if I can help you. And then we'll also do office hours. Office hours, we're gonna walk through this. I'm gonna set up VMs so that I can do it in each operating system, and you can see the full install pathway. So if you're having trouble, don't worry, come on Discord after, and then come to office hours on Saturday, and we'll show you how to do everything. Cool. Cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and just give folks another minute or two. I know you've been working on it for a little bit. I'm just gonna give you about 2 minutes. 2 minutes to kind of get this installed, and then we're gonna do another raffle. So I know this is probably the most stressful thing you'll do tonight. It's difficult to get everything set up. You have the slides, exclamation point slides, if you need those commands. We're gonna put 2 minutes on the clock here, and we'll be right back. So 2 minutes, just to give folks another chance to kind of get it installed if they wanna follow along. But like I said, you don't need it installed right now. Don't panic. If it's not working for you, that's okay. Put some music on here for us. Don't worry, we'll get it working after class, or we'll get it working during office hours on Saturday. I know this can be really stressful if you've never done it before. Take your time. You can always do, if you want to check, some folks say, how can I check if it's running? You can go ahead and do git -- version, and that should tell you what version of Git you are running. Are we going to set up SSH keys tonight? No, we're not going to set up SSH keys tonight. We're going to do that probably on our office hours on Saturday. That's a little bit more of kind of like an advanced topic, and so I don't want to kind of overload folks that might be already stressing a little bit with this stuff. So we'll get to that during office hours. Yep. You can use that git config -- flag git to see what's up there. I have a friend who wants to join. How should they start to catch up? They can do exclamation point 100 devs. That'll take you to the post that has a catch up section. You can use that catch up section. And when you use that catch up section, it'll tell you everything you need to do to join the bootcamp. You can do brew upgrade git on Mac. Depending on what operating system you're on, you're going to be doing it in a slightly different way. If you just installed git bash, you're probably on the most recent version anyway. When we get our sweet jobs, do we make new GitHubs? Not normally. You might, depending on the company you join. A lot of times there will be organizations on GitHub, so it's kind of like a club that you join on GitHub. Not a club, but it's like a group that you join on GitHub where all the code lives. All right. Alrighty, folks, are we ready? Let's get into it. Like I said, if you had trouble installing it, I asked folks to install it yesterday. If you're having trouble installing it, you're kind of live with us right now and trying to install it, and you're having trouble, join the Discord after class. That way I can see your screen. We can actually troubleshoot a little bit. And then office hours on Saturday, we're going to walk through step by step on every operating system how to do it. So come back then if you're having a little bit of trouble, but you can still get all the same value out of the rest of tonight just by following along, seeing these commands live. But we got some more raffles. So let's go ahead. We got to put on the raffle music, and let's go ahead and open up. This is for folks in the US. This is for a Microsoft swag raffle. So hold on, let me open it up first. Alrighty. And it is open, folks. Exclamation point raffle will get you into this raffle for the Microsoft swag bag. US only, folks. Go for it. You got this. We're going to close it up in 45 seconds. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hope you're having some fun. Hope you're learning some stuff. Hope you're enjoying the raffles. Thank you for being here. Alrighty. Exclamation point raffle for folks in the US. 10 seconds, we're gonna close it. Hey, let's go. Good luck, everyone. May the odds be forever in your favor. All right, and we're closing it now. 3, 2, 1, close. Alrighty, time to pick the winner, folks. Cross H with the win. Let's go. Let's go. Cross with the win. One of the creators of the bingo game here, getting in with the Microsoft swag pack. That makes me so happy. Mayan with the 5 months in a row. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. That's wild. All right, Cross, send me a message on Discord and we'll get that package coming your way. Woo, let's go. I love it. I love it. Now I'm just really waiting for Booty Liquor to win. All right, let me complete this one, and we're gonna do another one for folks that are not in the US for the Learn with Leon swag package. Let's go ahead and start that giveaway. Exclamation point raffle should get you in there. It's open, it is working. Go, 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 go. Open for 1 minute, and then we're gonna get into Git. Alrighty, folks. You got this. About 20 seconds left. About 20 seconds left. Hope you're having fun with all the raffles and stuff. Shout out Microsoft, Azure. Hey, thank you so much for enabling us to do this. This is awesome. This is hype. Let's go. I feel like I gotta do it. Oh, I love it. Cool, we're gonna close this one in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Closing the entries now. Picking the winner. Izzy42 with the Learn with Leon swag package. Let's go. Getting some OGs in here. Getting some triple OGs in here. I love it. Let's go. Well done, well done. All right, we're gonna complete this one, and we're gonna get into some Git, folks. Get ready. There is a way to do it based on like not channel points, but there's like Streamlabs points. We don't have it set up though, but there is a way to like balance it and folks to have more points. This is completely random. Yeah. but that'd be cool to think about for the future. Alrighty, folks, it is at the top of the hour, so we're gonna take our break. When we come back in 5 minutes, we're gonna get into the basic Git commands, bring this home, learn the basics of Git, learn how to put our stuff on GitHub. So come on back. We're gonna put 5 minutes on the clock. We always like to be healthy and take our breaks. Alrighty. 5 minutes on the clock. The last bit of class will be Raffle madness, pretty much. Alrighty, folks. 5 minutes. How we doing? If you're able to, make sure you get up, get a little stretch in. I got a couple stretches in already. Get some hydration in. How we doing? How's the terminal feeling? You feel okay with the terminal? You have a rough idea of what maybe Git is? Gonna use the break to clean mad dishes. That's maximizing your team. Maximizing your team. Maximizing your time. What else we'll be using Ubuntu for other than the commands? It's just the commands and the familiarity with the stuff that you're going to find online. Yeah. Have been playing with Maker, Touch, and RM. That's awesome. Green just says in all caps, winning. No, Pork, that's awful. Sorry you had to go through that. No. Bobby Lynn loves the terminal. Let's go. Cody said, who is a competitor of Git? There are other version controls. There are a bunch of them. Git is probably the predominant one these days, for sure. Pumped about Git, Dev? All right, let's go. 3 minutes and we're jumping into it, folks. Zilkies, no. One time I had a problem with Ubuntu and got trolled into doing RM with the force on the whole root. No. Ooh, Spliffy got some grilled cheese and some soup. I'll take that. That sounds good right about now. I've been doing this whole intermittent fasting thing, and I don't typically eat at all until after stream, like for the whole day. It's actually pretty dope because I drink a lot of water. I have some coffee. So I have a little bit of coffee too. It's almost 2 a.m. and y'all making me hungry. You got 2 minutes left to run to the kitchen, maybe grab something real quick. Yeah, Spliff. I've been doing a lot of reading on it. Also, like, not even the health benefits, just I eat too much, and so having one defined period where I'm actually eating has been really helpful for me, kind of on the weight loss journey at the moment. I don't have any control at night. When it comes to snacking, nope. Rip. So knowing that I have like one window to eat takes some of that cognitive effort off my brain. Same thing I have my calendar built out so well. Just because I don't have to think about what I'm doing throughout the day. Woolsock, you just got your wisdom teeth out yesterday? Whew. Hope you're feeling all right. Nichols had McDonald's at 2 a.m. last night. I have not been a stranger to a Burger King Impossible Whopper towards the later hours. Not this past month or so since I've been on the health kick, but before. Whew. Can you use Octothorpe in a file name? I actually don't know. I'm not sure if a special, if that like is a weird special character or something like that. We can try it out though. Shakur, you're getting yours done too? Jeez. Mini meals help for me. I love baby spinach sauce. That's dope. Yeah, whatever works, right? Love baby tomatoes. Me too. I'm a fan. I just got my grandfather one of those air gardens to grow baby tomatoes in. Might get one for myself. All right, folks. Yeah, indifferent. We don't have the chat preview tonight at the request of Microsoft because they're gonna be sharing this on other platforms, and so we just want to make sure nothing odd pops up there. So no chat tonight. We did have it working the other day though. We did have it working on Saturday. It was pretty cool. All right, folks, come back. Will I be censored? Probably. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get back into it, folks. Hope you had a good break. We got some commands to get into. We might stack all the raffles at the end just for the sake of getting through. We always like to keep our class time to roughly 3 hours, but with the raffles, it might take a little bit longer. So let's get into some basic Git commands. So the first kind of major command that you're going to see is git init. All this is doing, and there's definitely like way more scientific, specific technical terms here. Let's throw all that out the window for right now. And let's just say git init is a special folder to save all of our snapshots. That's all it is. It's like this magical folder that holds all of our snapshots. So all of our save points, like all of the essays that we would email to ourselves, instead of emailing those essays to ourselves, we're just throwing them in this magical folder, right? So git init creates this magical folder where we're going to save our snapshots. And so I'm going to do that. I am right now at my root directory. So I'm going to cd into my desktop, my stream folder, my 100 devs folder, and then my class 21 folder. I'm going to take a quick look in this folder real quick to make sure I'm in the right spot. Yep, there's example. Let me cd into example. I want the git init, like that magic folder, in the folder that I care about. So that's why I went all the way into my example folder, which you see in the GUI down here. Okay. So now I'm in the example folder and I'm going to do git init. All that did is create that like empty folder that we're going to call a repository that we're going to save, I keep saying save all of our snapshots to, right? So if we go ahead and we do a normal ls, we're going to see our normal files. Like we're going to see like the CSS folder, the JavaScript folder. We see our index.html. But if we do an ls-la, we're going to be able to see that, oh, look what we got here. We have a hidden folder. It's a hidden Git folder, right? And so that's why I said it's like an actual folder where we're going to save all of our snapshots to. So remember that ls-la shows you everything that could be there, including hidden files. You can turn hidden files on in your operating system if you want to, but this just kind of shows you those hidden files if you want. So we did that git init, and we can see that there is that hidden file in there. All right, I'm going to clear that hidden folder, I should say. All right. So that's the first command. Whenever you want to create the place where you're going to save your snapshots, we're going to use git init. Next, we have this area called staging. So think of it as kind of you're grabbing all your files together, but you haven't saved them into that special folder. So what you're going to do is you're going to have the folder, right? If we draw it out, you're going to have your folder that you just made with git init, right? And then you have this stage. And you're going to put all your files on the stage. And then once you're happy with everything, then you put it in that special folder. Okay. So all it is think of a place where we're kind of getting organized. We're going to grab all of our files, right? We're going to grab all of our files. And then once we're happy with everything, we can make a snapshot and put that snapshot into that magic folder that we just created. All right. So it's kind of like getting all your files together before you zip them to send them to yourself via email. Right. So we can add all the files we care about. Right. We can add all the files we want to this staging area. We can do them one by one. We could if we wanted to. So we could do something like this. I could do git add and then the name of a file. And that would add that file to our staging area, right? So I could do individual files. If I didn't want to do an individual file, I could do all of one type of file. So here I can do anything that has an HTML ending. So that asterisk would say anything that is an HTML file, these would all get added to this lovely staging area where we're kind of getting all of our stuff together, right? I can also do everything. And that's what I'm going to do because I have some CSS folders, a JavaScript folder, a bunch of files. So I'm not going to do everything one by one. I am going to do git add dot. And git add dot is the same thing as saying git add all. We're adding everything to the stage. We're putting all this stuff into this staging area. All right, so I'm going to hit enter. Now, every single one of my files that are inside this example folder are chilling out in the staging area. We have our CSS folder, we have our JavaScript folder, we have our index.html. They're all chilling in this staging area, right? Right? So we put them all in this lovely area, right? Now, what we want to do is check, right? Check to see what's going on, right? Let's go ahead and check to see where we're at, right? You can see all this stuff that's chilling, right? That's chilling in this staging area, right? We can see all of our files that we've added, right? Right? You can see all the files that I added, all the stuff that's there, right? And then what we're going to do is we are going to make a commit. That commit is like taking the snapshot, right? It's like taking the snapshot that we can then add to that special magical folder, right? That we can add to that special magical folder, right? Now, there are some other things that you might want to do, right? Before we take that snapshot of everything and add it to that magical folder, there might be some things that you want to do. You might want to remove something from this staging area. Maybe you had a couple HTML files you don't want as part of this snapshot, right? You can use this command to remove a specific file, right? So if you don't like the stuff that you've put on the stage, you can remove the things that you don't want there. So that is another command, right? But I'm happy with everything that's in that lovely staging area. So I'm going to do git commit. Now there's two ways of doing the two ways of kind of doing the commit. There's the one way that kind of induces panic to anyone that's never used the terminal. And there's one way where you don't ever get to see it. So I'm going to show you both ways because I don't want you accidentally to hit git commit, right? To hit git commit and then be a little afraid of what happens. So let me show you. I'm going to do git commit here. Let me clear. I'm going to do git commit. And this is me trying to take a snapshot. I have all this stuff. I have all this stuff that's on my stage, right? I want to take a snapshot so I can maybe use it in the future, roll back to it. Instead of saving it and emailing it to myself, Git is going to take that snapshot. So I'm going to do git commit. And I get taken into V or Vim. So this is where a lot of folks, if they're new, they're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is a text editor that is running in the terminal, right? A lot of developers use V and Vim or Emacs as like their main development environment if they're not using something like VS Code. And what this is going to enable us to do is to leave a message, right? To leave a message about the snapshot that we just took, right? It's going to enable us to leave a message about the snapshot that we just took, okay? And what we can do here is if you get stuck here, there's a couple key commands that you want to do. And I put them down here for you in case you need them. If you are here, you're going to hit the letter I. That's going to take you to insert mode. I'm telling you, this is weird. This is where people freak out. It's going to take you to insert mode. You're going to type your message. Added all of my front end files. Cool. So that's the message that's going to be tied to that snapshot. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click escape. And then I'm going to type in :WQ and hit enter. Whew. Now you're out of that editor. You're out of that editor and you're back in the terminal that you feel comfortable with. So that's one thing that causes people a lot of panic, right? Causes people a lot of panic when they first kind of do their first commit because they don't use the message flag. So we can do the same thing without having to go into that editor, right? We can do the same thing without having to go into that editor if we put that flag and then the commit message. So let's go ahead and create another file. Whoop. Let's go ahead and create another file here. I'm just going to do touch, and I'm going to call this like other.html. Great. So now there's another HTML file, and I want to add that file to a new snapshot. So I'm going to do git add other.html. I'm going to do a git commit, but this time I'm going to do the -m, and then I'm going to put my messages in the quotes. Added other HTML file. So instead of me getting taken to that editor, I can just put my message right here in that command, right? And then same thing, hit enter. It does the same thing we saw with the other commit, right? Same thing we saw with the other commit. And we have taken a lovely snapshot. So now, in the future, if I ever wanted to go back to a time before I had the other HTML file, I could. I could go look at that other snapshot. And so we're going to use these commands all the time. You're going to use these commands over and over and over and over again, because this is a good way of making sure that every kind of feature you add or thing that you do in your code, you can go ahead and take a snapshot of it so that you can come back to it at a later time if you want, right? You can come back to it at a later time if you want. You could say, you know what? I want to go back to that point in time when there was only the index.html. You have the ability to do that. And so the process that we did is we went into our brand new folder and we did git init. This created that magical folder that all of our commits, all of our snapshots are going into. They're all there. We can open it up and see them all in there, right? All of them are in there. And once we created that magical folder, we were able to add our files to a staging area. they weren't ready for the snapshot yet, right? They weren't ready for the snapshot yet, but we're adding our files. We can add individual files. We can add a bunch of the same type of files. We can add kind of a bunch of them, or pretty much all of them at one time. There are some other flags here other than just add dot, but for simplicity's sake, we're sticking to these 3 right now. We'll see more on Thursday and then Saturday during office hours, right? And so we put all of the files into this lovely staging area. And then once we were ready to take a snapshot, we did git commit, but we used the git commit with this flag because that stops us from having to go into that text editor and make our message there, right? Once we hit enter on this commit, we've taken a snapshot of all of our code, and now it's in that special init folder that we created, that repository that we created. And if we wanted to, we could go back in time and get it, okay? We're not going to do that right now, like roll back to previous ones. I want to stick to just like the basics here. But this is something that you should be doing all the time, right? Whenever you add some new bits of functionality to your projects, you want to make sure you're going ahead and doing you probably already have the repo set up. You're going to do your git add, right? Then you're going to do your git commit with a good message about where you are at, so that if you ever do need those snapshots, you have them. It's a heavy topic, folks, but that's the basics. You're really going to do those 3 things all the time. Git init to create the repository just once. You don't have to do it more than once, just once inside your folder. You're going to do git add, git commit, and that's going to enable you to make all these snapshots. So as you're working on stuff, you want to be making these snapshots. And I'm just amazed by this. Hey, let's keep going. I'll be rewatching this in the morning. Heck yeah. All right, Garrett. Yeah, there are lots of other commands that help you kind of unstage stuff, that enable you to like do extra things. But I really just want you to focus on the git init to create the magical repo folder, git add to add everything that you want to add, and then git commit with this flag so that you can take the snapshot and put it in that magical folder. All right. Those are the big ones. Now, in October of last year, I believe, GitHub kind of led the charge on kind of changing a very specific thing about how kind of Git and then eventually how GitHub looks for it. And that's if we do this git status, you can see here that we are on a branch called master, okay? And so in October of last year, a lot of folks led the charge to change that from master to main. So if you have an older version of Git installed, you're going to see this master pop up. But if you're installing like the newest version of Git bash, right, you're going to see it probably ask you to default to main as like one of the settings. And you can change it to whatever you want, but main is what kind of GitHub is going to be looking for, and it's what a lot of folks have switched to as this main kind of area that you're working. Okay, you can think of branches as like areas in which you are working, and so this master branch is now main. And if you want, you can change the name of your branch from master to main. You're going to have to do this if you want to use GitHub anyway. So you can go ahead and just do git branch with that capital M flag. And now if we do another git status, you can see that we're on branch main, no longer master. Cool. So that's kind of the last kind of the big commands that you're going to see tonight. Those are kind of it. I know that it's can be pretty hefty if you've never done it before, but it's just getting it to create that magical repository where we're going to put our snapshots, git add to add all the things to this like staging area, git commit to take a snapshot of everything that's in staging and put it into this magical repository folder for use later on. And you're going to be doing this constantly as you're writing your code. Okay? Constantly. All right. So what I would like for you all to do is to attempt to make your first commit. All right? I want you to try and make your first commit. So go ahead and follow these kind of slides. You can remove that live to jump through. And I want you to try and make your first commit right now. We're going to put just 3 minutes on the clock just for you to run through those commands. Three minutes to run through those commands. See if in the folder you created earlier, you can create your initial repository. See if you can go ahead and stage everything and then commit it. So go ahead and try doing that. And like I said, this stuff is hard. If you've never worked with the terminal before, you've never worked with Git before, this stuff's gonna be a little bit difficult the first time you do it. Right? It's gonna be hard the first time you do it. Okay? You can use Git status to see. It's gonna be hard the first time you do it. We're going to get more practice in on office hours. You come to office hours on Saturday. We're going to do this over and over again. We're going to do it on different operating systems so you can see the whole process. Right? And I'm going to show you in 1 second, Jen, when we get to the GitHub portion, I'm going to show you a really easy way to see all your commits. It's going to be a lot more visual for you. So give us a few seconds to get to GitHub and then you'll be able to see them a little bit more visually. Got about 1:30 left, folks. Give it a shot. See if you can do it. Yeah, you got to make your first commit, Fry, before you try changing it to main. Medi, that looks like you didn't do git init, or you're not in the place where you did the git init. I missed a drink. What did I miss? Let's see. Sorry about that. Last avatar, thank you for the hydration. Jeezy, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to both of you. I'm gonna get 2 sips in. Done, not scared of commitment. Love it. Drink some scotch. Maybe after stream, Alrighty, folks. About 30 seconds. Come on back. If you're ready to get it done, throw done in the chat for us, please. I want to see if you got it. If you got it to work. If you got it to work, go ahead and do done for me. I just want to see who got it working. All right. All right. Looks like a good chunk of us. Nice. Bomb123. There is a way to change it so that all of them are. We'll show that not today, but we'll get to that during office hours for sure. Alrighty, folks. Come on back. Come on back. Let's try doing this together. Let's try doing this together real quick. I'm going to chill the music here. All right. So let's walk through the steps. So let's do a clear here. And let's go ahead and do a git status. We can see that we're on main. We're doing good. All right, we're on main. We're doing good. Let's go ahead and create a new file. I'm going to call this about.html. Cool. So we have a new HTML file. Let's go ahead and add this file to our staging area. Chat, what is the command to add this file to our staging area? Chat. Everyone in chat, please. If you're here, I want to see what the command you use to put that file in our staging area. Nice. Give it to me. Yes, you that haven't typed all chat. Go ahead. I want to see it. I want to be overwhelmed by the answers. Nice. Love it. All right, let's go and do it. Git add, and we can do about.html, adding just that specific file to our staging area. If we do a, how could I see how could I see the stage? How could I see what's in the staging area? Give me a wall of how we could check. Overwhelm me, folks. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's do it. Boom. So we can see these changes to be committed. They're on our staging area. They have not been committed yet. Cool. And chat, one last time, how can I take all this stuff that's in staging, make a snapshot of it, and make sure that that gets saved away? How can I do that? Give me the full command. How would you do it? Overwhelm me in chat, please. There we go. Lovely. We're gonna do it. Git commit -m, and we're gonna say add it about me page. Cool. There we go. Now we've created a new snapshot, and now I have a few snapshots. I have a snapshot from when there was just an index file. I have a snapshot from when there was an index and an other, and a snapshot from when there was an about me. So now we have these different snapshots that we can use later on. And I'm going to show you how to see them in a little bit when we get to GitHub. Cool. All right. I think that hard work, the overwhelming positive response in chat, everybody's kind of locked and loaded and getting it. That's a raffle. Let's get a raffle going. Such commit. Wow. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and do a raffle. If you are in the US, you're going to do the first raffle for the Microsoft Swag package. Let's go ahead and get that going. Alrighty. Alright, giveaway should have started. Let's see these hopefully start coming in, and it is live, folks. Exclamation point raffle. We're going to let this go for just a few seconds here. We're going to let it go for another 40 seconds. For folks that are in the US, please. US. Alrighty. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and close it now. We're going to close it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. Let's pick a winner. Dinger Code. Let's go. All right. Dinger Code with the win. Going to complete that one. Congratulations. Go ahead and hit me up on Discord. We'll get that going your way. Cool. Let's go ahead and set up the global. If you're not in the US, this will be the one for you. Alrighty. Getting it started here. Should be open now. Go ahead and do exclamation point raffle if you're not in the US. We're going to go ahead and leave this one open for another 30 seconds or so. Another 30 seconds or so. Get in here. Get in here. And then I think we're going to hold the rest of the raffles until after we get through everything, just in case folks really do have to duck out at the 3 hour mark. They can. Alrighty, let's go. Let's go. All right, gonna close this one out, and we're gonna pick that winner. Blink 2 with the win. Congrats, congrats. Gonna complete this one as well. Hit me up on Discord for the win. We'll get that coming your way. Dope. Let's go. All right. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Gonna chill the music here. And we got 2 more big concepts, 3 more big things to get through. We're gonna talk about branches real quick. Then we're gonna talk about GitHub and how we can start using that. And then we are going to see how GitHub pages work. And that'll be really quick, but it'll blow your mind, guaranteed. All right. What if you really were working on something that you knew was going to be difficult and you felt like you wanted to try to make a change? Yeah, exactly, Simba. Exactly. What if you wanted to make a change, but you were afraid of maybe messing everything up, borking the whole folder, afraid of like, all right, if I make all these changes, I might not be able to get back to where I started, right? We could make a snapshot and be able to roll back to that snapshot. But there's also something really interesting that we can do that's somewhat similar, and that's called a branch. So let's go ahead and take a look at a branch. So branches are ways that you're going to eventually, when you're working with other developers, kind of use them a heck of a lot to make new changes and new features and new things. But I really like them even when I'm just working by myself, right? I like them even when I'm just working by myself because I can take some risks, go really deep down the rabbit hole, and if I don't like it, I can just switch back to where I was very, very quickly. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear this real quick and do a git status. We can see that we are on the main branch, so we're in a good spot. And what we're going to do is this command here, git branch, and we're going to call this risky. There you go. I'm going to make some of that risky code changes. So I'm going to create a new branch called risky. And give me a second to like show you how this works because it'll be very visual in a second. All right. Risky. All right. So I create a new branch called risky. What I am going to do is check out that branch that I just created. Git checkout risky. And now you can see that I am no longer on main. I am now on risky. Okay. So what I can do now is I can do another git status if I just want to be double sure. Cool. I'm on branch risky. I see that. Cool. Let me go ahead and make some changes. So I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add another HTML file called risky. So I'm going to do touch risky. I had to think through this. HTML. And we're going to hit enter. And we are going to see down here that we have the risky HTML file, right? We have the risky HTML file that's there. That's where I'm going to like make that the change I'm not really sure about, the thing that I'm not really, I don't want to worry about too much. It's there, right? I added it. I created that file. Let me go ahead and do a normal commit. I'm going to do git add. And I was going to add that file. Cool. And I'm going to commit my changes. Git commit -m added risky HTML not sure about it. Cool. Just letting myself know that this was a risky HTML file. I'm not too sure about it, right? Not too sure about it. And the really cool thing that I can do now is, you know what? I think this worked really well. I took the risk. And it worked out well. I could keep it if I want, or I can say, you know what? I took the risk. I didn't like it. I don't want to delete it though. I might come back to it later. I might figure it out. Maybe I just need the night to think it through a little bit more, let it marinate in the brain, and I might come back to it later, right? So what I can do is I can switch back to my main branch. I can leave all of this here. on, like if I do git status, you can see that I'm on branch risky. I can leave all this here and go back to main. So let me go git check out main. And look what happened. Look at that magic that just happened. I don't know if you missed it, but there was some magic that happened down there. Chat, did you see that? Did you see what happened there? Did you all see what happened there? Right? When I switched back to main, that risky HTML file, poof. Because that risk that I took, right? That risk that I took is on a different branch, right? It's on a different branch. I can't believe it. That's wild. Mind's blown. Right? It's on a different branch. And so I can leave it on that other branch. I can come back to it later if I want. I can check out risky and make some more changes to it. Maybe I can go talk to somebody else on Discord and say, hey, I'm having this trouble on this branch. Come back to it, make those changes. And then once I'm happy, like once I'm really happy with risky and I'm like, you know what? Risky is ready for prime time. I want this to be part of my project going forward. I can always merge it back into main. So I can do git merge risky. Cool. Now, if you look, you can see risky came back. Risky is no longer sequestered, right? No longer sequestered to the risky branch. I have merged risky into main, and it's all there for me now. So I really like these branches, right? I really like these branches for when I'm working on stuff that I'm not sure I want it to be included in my total project. Or if I'm getting help from somebody else, I'll put it in a different branch. I'll make all my changes, and then I get to make the decision later on if I want it part of my main project. So this is where Git becomes really helpful for me in my day-to-day. One, I'm able, from the first part that we saw, to take these snapshots that I can save for later. I'm also able to create these branches that I can work on different bits of functionality. And if I like it, I can merge it. If I don't, it can stay there. If I need to get help, I can share it with other folks. And so that's kind of where this stuff starts to really become magic and really change my workflow as a developer. I'm seeing a lot of cools, mind blowns. So I hope that this is something that you're going to be inspired to use as we continue on with the rest of 100 devs, right? You might have to come back. You might have to try it out, right? You might have to play with it a little bit, but it's here to be a tool that you can use. We're at the top of the 3 hours here, so we are going to not do the code. I was just going to ask you to make a branch. Do that after class. Try making a branch after class. I really want to stick to the 3 hours. Try to get that as close as possible. We're at the top of the hour now, so we're gonna kind of look at 2 more things: GitHub and GitHub pages. Then we'll end class and we'll do all the raffles as we end. So if you're able to hang in there for the last couple of raffles, we still got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 raffles left, folks. So hang on. We got 4. We're just gonna do a power raffle run at the end of class. So give me about 10 more minutes for the rest of class. We'll go over 10 minutes over, then we'll do our raffles, and then of course we'll end with a lovely raid. Cool. So after class, try doing a branch. We're gonna save that raffle. All right, so you might now feel a little bit more comfortable with Git. You're like, all right, snapshots that I'm saving, branches that I can make some risky stuff on. Like, that makes sense. What the heck is this GitHub thing that was in the title, right? Well, GitHub has one really strong importance for your day-to-day as a developer. And that's the idea of having a local repository, like that magic folder where we're saving all of our snapshots, and a remote repository, right? Meaning that you can have your Git repository, that magic folder where all your snapshots go, that can just be on your machine, and that's it. Right? It can just stay on your local machine and you'll be fine. Or, and this is where it gets really useful, you can save all those snapshots to the cloud. You can save them all to GitHub. And so if you ever need those previous snapshots or you ever need your code, it's all on GitHub. It's all on the cloud. So if something was, God forbid, knock on wood, I need to throw some salt after stream. If there's something that happened wrong with my laptop, all my code every day I back up to GitHub. Every single day. Probably 15 times a day, stuff is getting pushed up to GitHub obsessively, because I don't want it just on my local machine. I want it out there on the cloud as well. So let's see how we can take all the stuff that we did today and get it going on GitHub. Alrighty. So GitHub, we're going to see how to like have those repositories, but it's also worth to point out that GitHub is not only backups, it's a whole suite of tools that enable you to work with other developers. So if you come back on Thursday, right, we're same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, you come back Thursday, I'm going to show you the functionality on GitHub that enables you to work with other developers really well. And so tonight was about us. It was about getting our code backed up, getting our code snapshotted, learning about branches, putting them in the cloud via GitHub. But on Thursday, we're going to talk about how we can work with other developers, because as part of 100 devs, y'all are going to start working with each other. And so you're going to need ways to be able to share your code and have lots of tools that make it easy to share and to see what other folks are doing. And that's what GitHub really excels at. Cool. So if you haven't made a GitHub account, you're going to need a GitHub account. Go ahead and create a GitHub account after class, because we're running out a little bit of time here. Go ahead and create a GitHub account after class that you have it. I highly recommend, if you're part of 100 devs, that you do first name, last name, or as close as possible, first name, last name, dev. Your GitHub is going to rank in Google pretty high, or Bing very high, right? And so you want to make sure that since you know this thing, you're going to have a lot of different pages, a lot of different stuff. Your GitHub's going to probably show up with your name. So take advantage of that. Use first name, last name, dev if you can, and have all that going. Cool. After you create a GitHub account, you are then able to push your snapshots to GitHub. You're able to push them to GitHub. And so to push your snapshots to GitHub, right? All the commits that you made, to push them to GitHub, there are some things you have to do. The first thing you're going to do is go ahead and create a new repository. So I am going to go to my GitHub account. Unfortunately, I fell off. I fell off. I was doing so good, but I fell off. I'm going to go to my GitHub, and I am going to click this little plus icon with the drop down and do new repository. New repository. So just clicked new repository. All right. Clicked on new repository. And I'm going to name my repository. This is going to be my remote repository. We have our local magical folder. This is going to be our magical folder in the cloud on GitHub. Okay. Let's go ahead and call this example class. So I'm just going to call it example class. And I'm going to keep it public, and I'm not going to add any of these options. I'm going to click on create repository. Boom. Now I have a new place to save my snapshots to that isn't on my local machine. And the really cool thing is that GitHub gives you all the commands that you're going to need right there. So you can literally just kind of copy and paste. Oh, we don't like to copy and paste around these parts, right? You can go ahead and copy and paste these commands right into your terminal. Now, we have already done git init. So we already have a repository, so we don't have to follow that command. If you want to add a README, you can. What a README does is that it tells you like what's happening in your repository. So when other folks look at it, they know what the heck's going on with all your code. We're not going to add a README tonight. We'll do that on Thursday and then, of course, during office hours. we have already done our first commit, and we've already named our branch main, right? So we've already done a lot of these steps. The really two big steps we need are these last two here. We need to connect our local repository to our remote repository, or the remote that we're using for right now. So we can go ahead and let's just make sure we have a Git status here. We can see that we are on the main branch. Let me go ahead and do a clear. We're on main, we're good. We're just gonna go ahead and add this remote origin. Cool. I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it right in and hit enter. And so now, if I want to push, hey, Alyssa, thank you for the sub. Ooh, if you have not, I was watching Prime so much over the weekend. If you're not following them, you have to go follow them, like right now. Like right now, follow them. You're a wizard. You're a wizard. I was just amazed at watching your fingers move. That's it. I have a kinesis too, but I don't move across my kinesis that fast. So shout out to Prime. Go definitely watch them. They're legitimately a wizard. So definitely give them a follow. One day, hopefully, you'll be live and we can send a raid over your way. Digital Fendi, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you for being here. 3 months. Let's go. All right. So we added that remote. We're going to do this last command that's right here for us. We're going to do this, grab this git push. And I'm going to hit enter. And this is where the magic works. Now, I have set up something called an SSH key. If you don't have that set up, it's going to ask you to put in a username and password. That's your GitHub username and password. Remember, when you're typing in passwords, you're not going to see them in the terminal. You're typing it, you're just not going to see it, and then you hit enter, right? And so I already have my key set up. On office hours, we'll set up keys. You can do it that way. But if you're doing this, following along right now, you're going to have to put in your username and password. You do that, and when you come back to this page, let me zoom out real quick. When you come back to this page and you refresh, would you look at that? All of our code is now not only on our local machine, but it is now hosted on GitHub as well. We can have all of our snapshots, all of our commits going up to GitHub as well. So God forbid, knock on wood, I'm going to throw Saul after class, something was to happen to my computer, all my code is now also backed up here on GitHub. And it's very easy to pull this code down. We'll see that on Thursday, and I can use it. The other thing that you can see is look at all of our commits. So here are all the commits that we've done so far. You can see I added all my front end files, added another HTML file, added about me, added my risky HTML, right? You can see when I made those commits, and using these commit IDs, we will be able to roll back to one of those previous snapshots if we wanted to. So congrats, Jen, you got it on your first try. That's awesome. First try, let's go. You're a software engineer, Harry. Cool. So that's the beauty of GitHub. And I've pushed all my changes up here. And I am going to show you one last cool thing before we end tonight, do all of the remaining raffles. And that is GitHub Pages. GitHub Pages, once you have your code up here on GitHub, it's super easy to make your stuff host it. You ready? I'm going to do it. It's going to be real quick. I'm going to go to where it says main right here next to the branch. And I'm going to type in gh-pages. That's it. I'm going to hit enter. And my stuff's hosted now. It's hosted. I can go to Leon Noel, which is my GitHub username, .github.io. And then the name of my repository, My name of my repository was example class. So I'm going to do example class and index.html. Boom. There we go. It's hosted. It's live. The world can see it. And that is how you can host stuff once your code's on GitHub. You literally just create the branch GitHub pages, gh-pages, and boom, it's hosted. It's live. What? It's so easy. On Thursday, we're going to see how you can push more code up and see these things change as you kind of make changes. So if you've been using something else, this is really easy because all your code's going here anyway. You're going to be pushing all your snapshots here up anyway. So might as well have it hosted here as well, because as you push your changes, it's changing here as well, right? So the cool thing is we learned about a lot of stuff tonight, right? We learned about a lot of stuff tonight. We learned how to, we're going to get to a raffle in a second. We got through our GitHub pages. We had a lot of fun stuff tonight. We learned the basics of the terminal. Hopefully that's not as scary anymore, right? The idea that there's some basic commands about how you can control your computer without a GUI, a graphical user interface. You learned the commands to be dangerous in the terminal. You can delete a whole bunch of stuff now. Then you saw the basics of Git, right? How this idea that we can make these snapshots of our code that we can go back to later on if we want to. We learned about branches, right? So you can make some risks, make some changes, not mess with your entire code base. And if you like the changes you made, you can merge them back into main. We saw how to get our code from just being in our local magical repository. Now we have that code going onto GitHub. So we have not only a local, but a backup in the cloud as well. And then we saw once we have our code on GitHub, how easy it is to have it hosted through GitHub pages. Whew. Makes a lot of sense, Leon. Thank you so much. Hey, glad you stopped by. Hope you learned some stuff. Hope you had some fun. My GitHub username or display name, that should be set to our real name. My current username is something else, but the display name is my name. That's kind of up to you. It's your personal decision. I like to have mine the same, just to reduce some confusion, but that's up to you. All right. Now, before we get to the last 4 remaining raffles and do our raid, we have homework. Your homework is to do this introduction to GitHub. It's free, offered by free from Microsoft. Thank you, Microsoft Azure, for sponsoring the stream. We're going to do this for homework. This is an introduction to GitHub. It's going to talk through the tools that we didn't get a chance to talk about. It's going to talk through how we as developers can work together once we have our code on GitHub. And guess what we're going to do on Thursday? All this stuff that's from this homework, we're going to get a taste of. So it's not technically due until Tuesday, but if you want to leg up on Thursday's class, you're going to try and get through it as well. Folks, this has been the best week ever. And we still got 4 more raffles, and we're going to do our raid as always. So let's get these raffles through. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you had some fun. I hope if you're watching this and you're not on Twitch, that it's not as scary anymore. You're not afraid to get into the terminal. You're not afraid of this thing called Git. I hope you had some fun. Let's do some raffles. Best week. We're going to end the best week ever with 4 raffles. I love it. All right. Let's go ahead and get these done. And then we're going to do our raid. So I'm going to go ahead and open up. This is for folks in the US, please. For the Microsoft Azure swag bag. Let's go ahead and get that started. Put some tunes on. All right. That raffle is open. We're going to leave it open for another 30 or so seconds. We're going to kind of power hour through these. Alrighty. Put some more respect on my name. Hey, Tony. Is you done or is you finished? Alrighty. Closing this one in 3, 2, 1. Closed. Picking the winner. Omar is happy with the win. Getting that Microsoft swag package. Whoo, that's dope. Congrats. I'm so excited for you. Hit me up on Discord so we can get that coming your way. Congrats. All right. Let's go ahead and do the anywhere in the world, folks, not in the US raffle. I'm going to go ahead and set that up right now. What a way to end the best week ever, folks. Thank you so much for being here. All right. The global Learn with Leon swag pack is open. All right, it's working. Get in there, get in there. Exclamation point raffle. Thank you, Microsoft Azure, for enabling us to do this stream, for supporting our community, supporting over 300 folks in this channel right now that are all here, part of a 30-week boot camp. Most of the folks that were laid off or affected by the pandemic, trying to reskill up in the new year. Thank you for supporting that. It does mean a lot. All right. Let's go ahead. We're going to close this one in 10 seconds. Alrighty, closing in 3, 2, 1. Gonna pick that winner. Manny Mantity, hey, let's go. Congrats on the win. Congrats on the win. Go ahead and hit me up on Discord. We'll get that your way. Cool. We got 3 more each, folks. 3 more each. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right, let's go. Let's go. Gonna set up the next one here. Whoever thought we'd be doing this? Look at us go. Look at us go, devs. Look at us go. All right, the US Microsoft swag pack is open. Exclamation point raffle to get in on that one. This has been the best week ever. What? Let's go. Gonna go for another 20 seconds here. Hope you had some fun. Come back on Thursday. If you're new or you're watching this somewhere else, leonnoel.com/Twitch. Come join us. We're live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday is 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We're adding other classes to the week too. All right, let's finish this raffle up. Closing in 3, 2, 1. Picking the winner. Jorky Pie, let's go. Let's go. The OG's out here. Let's go. Congrats, congrats, congrats. That's let's go, Pie. Pie out here. Hit me up on Discord. We'll get that coming your way. Cool. We're gonna do one open to the globe. Open to the globe. Let me complete this one. Whew, we still got a bunch left, folks. All right, this is for our global folks. The Learn with Leon swag pack should be open. There you go. Exclamation point raffle. You got 20 seconds to get in here. Quick, 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 quick. Good luck, everybody. Alrighty. You got it. You got it. Closing up in 3, 2, 1. Closing the entries. Picking the winner. Go 6 Fire with the win. Let's go. We out here. Yo, the OG's coming through. Let's go. Congrats, Ghost. Hit me up on Discord. We'll make it coming your way. All right, let's get another Microsoft win here. Another Microsoft swag pack here. All right, it is open. Go ahead and do exclamation point raffle coming in here. Keeping it open for another 20 seconds. Who thought we'd be sitting here a couple months later? Hundreds of people all learning to code, putting in the hard work to learn Git and GitHub. Raffling off prize packages from Microsoft? Best week ever. All right, closing this one up. 3, 2, 1. Picking the winner. Garrett Thor with the win. There we go. There we go. Hit me up on Discord. I'll get it your way. Just making sure I have a backup in case Streamlabs does anything weird here. All right. Time for a global giveaway. Completing this one. Give me 1 second to queue it up here. All right. Global giveaway is open now. Go ahead. Get in here. Exclamation point raffle. Let's make sure it comes in. All right. I see them coming through. We'll stay open for another 20 seconds. 20 seconds, and then we got 2 more to go after this one, and then we'll be doing a raid. Alrighty. Closing this one in 3, 2, 1. This is the global one. I'm going to pick a winner. Chocho. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Congrats. The OG's out here in force. I don't know what's going on. Let's go, though. Hit me up on Discord. We'll make it happen. All right, this last one, we got 2 more to go. This one is gonna be another global. Let's end on the Microsoft one. This is gonna be another global one. So get back in here for the global one. Let's go ahead and get here for the global one. I'm gonna complete this one. We're gonna do another global. And then we're gonna do a raid, folks. I want this raid to be hype. You have to be hype right now. You gotta be hype. So this is global. This is not a US one. This is another global. We're going to end with the Microsoft one. So another global. Give me a second to queue it up here. All right. Another global one is live. So this is non-US, global, non-US. All right. It's open. Exclamation point raffle will be open for another 20 seconds. And then we're going to get our raid going. And they got Github. They got Github. So we're going to take our skills with the raid. All right, let's close this last global one in 3, 2, 1. Closing it. Let's go ahead and pick a winner here. JetRunner9, congrats on the win. Hit me up on Discord. We'll make that coming your way soon. Congrats. All right. This is the last one. This is the last Microsoft swag package. Let's go ahead and open up that one. Give me 1 second to queue it up. All right. Should be open. Started. Exclamation point raffle to get in here. Exclamation point raffle. This is for the last giveaway of the evening. Microsoft Azure, thank you so much for sponsoring the class. You just got a whole bunch of new folks interested in Git and GitHub. Thank you so much for sponsoring the stream. Really appreciate it. All right, let's keep this one open for another 10 or so seconds here. Let's go. No more CodePen. Exactly. No more CodePen. I love CodePen, but not for submitting code anymore. It's all GitHub from here on out. Alrighty. Closing this one in 3, 2, 1. Close. Alrighty, folks. The last winner of the evening. And then we're going to do a raid. I see they're already doing Git commands. We're going straight to the raid. So let's pick a winner. Kiki Techie, congrats. You got a Microsoft swag package coming your way. Hit me up on Discord and we'll get it your way. Congrats to everyone that won tonight. Thank you all for being here. Let me go ahead and complete this real quick and we're going to start off the raid. Microsoft Azure, thank you so much for supporting our community. Thousands of folks on Discord that are taking a chance on changing their future. Folks that have been affected by the pandemic, that are trying to get the skills they need to command a job in tech. Thank you for the support. Thank you for keeping the stream lively tonight with all of the giveaways. I appreciate you so much. Everyone, if you haven't already, please use the check-in link, or if you're on Discord, check in. Make sure you show Microsoft some love on Twitter for us. Tell them thank you for sponsoring this stream, giving out all these swag packages to keep the stream lit. Let's go ahead and do a raid. Starting it off now. I already see that they were doing some Git commands, so I'll see you over there. As always, give them some love, give them some follows, and I'll be hanging out there for a while too, and then I'll see you on Discord. Peace, everyone. What a great week. The best week ever. Much love. See you all on Thursday. Let's raid.